you were almost like infamous. You were almost
infamous,
like a cultural phenomenon back then. I
Well-
would say that. What I love to see is fat, ugly dudes with hot wives on sitcoms.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Gives you something to aim at. That way, you get disappointed later and shoot yourself in the fucking face.
Right. I want to see fat Kevin James with young milfy Leah Remini just replicated over and over.
No, I have underwear on.
Now, what is that? Did you get that at like an Illuminati ritual or?
Yes, so I went online to Illuminati.com and it said you can become a member if
also
you
get 20% off your purchase when you mention PokeyTalkTime.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to be part of the Illuminati, so I had to save up 20 of the barcodes on Honey Nut Cheerios cereal. Yeah, proof of purchase, and I had to send it in with $1,000. And this is all they sent me back. They sent me a jar. It's got red stuff in it, but I don't think it's really blood.
No.
But it's labeled baby's blood on it, and they sent me this.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. We started already.
Tom's dancing. The screen's fucking up. I don't know why the screen's fucking up.
I can't stand up now that Tom started dancing.
Pokey Talk Time, episode 16. Yes, we actually made it this far.
Close.
There was another episode that we decided to get rid of because the audio quality was horrible and it was really boring. With our unofficial official co-host Tom Franklin and our special guest Mike Parsons.
Hi. When are you going to make it official, Tom? He's 16 episodes in, man. You need to take that plunge and make him official.
Well,
No.
If I make
it, no, it's I have to get the Illuminati thing, and he said 10 boxes of Cheerios, and I can only get one of those in like a year. I can't fuck with Cheerios. So it takes a minute.
what are they called Cheerios in Mexico?
Uncheerios.
Not very Cheerios.
Well, since Chris is in the Illuminati now, and he's talking to you and me, Tom, one of the three of us might end up murdered here.
No, he's in the Illuminati, but I'm higher up this. Yeah.
He's in the Ordo Sanctus, or I forget what the fuck name of it is with the guy from Aleister Crowley. He was in a secret society too, and he wrote him.
Wait a minute, your name is Mike Parsons?
Yes.
Dude, fucking Jack Parsons, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he's a high-level reptilian shapeshifter like myself.
Oh, so
Yeah,
High
I
level.
don't know who that is, but
High level reptile. I don't know who that is either.
I'm gonna have to Google him. Unless Tom
Who?
tells
Jack
us.
Parsons?
Yeah, who the fuck's Jack Parsons?
Is it Jack Parsons? Or is it
Are you thinking everyone always drops the
Aleister Crowley, Jack Parsons? They did a lot of sex magic, things like that. I had a good time.
I didn't know about that guy. I only knew about Crowley. I actually read why the fuck does it say?
Dude, I'm conspiracy dude, man.
Right-hand man. Well, if you're looking for sex magic for me, I can only do one or the other. I can't do both. I'm pushing 40. I don't have
You get naked, you pull your dick out, and you pull out a deck of cards. You're like, pick a card, any card. Not that card.
Right.
Not that card.
Boner out of a hat.
No, I can't. I can either give you the boner or the hat.
Now put it back in the deck of cards. But those are upside down now. Just put it back in, goddammit.
Right. It's like I can see where you're hiding the key, and I'm definitely not going to help you fish it out.
Shit!
No, I'm in the black nobility, so.
Yeah.
Oh wow, those are the Hebrew, the black Hebrew guys or whatever, right?
Hey, we call it. Hey, look, we're Hebrews, she-brews, they brews, whatever.
It's the. Oh, sorry, I stepped on your dick. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say.
That's our first T-shirt, by the way.
I am glad to hear about the ever-increasing diversity inside these high-level secret orders. It's about time.
True. They from what I heard
about that.
From what I heard, you can't be an atheist to be in the Freemasons, and you can't be Catholic. You have to believe in a higher power, and that's kind of bullshit. Yes, Luther.
I could be in the Masons.
You can't. Well, you know, they're probably doing some super recruiting right now because their membership levels are lower because everybody's like, who gives a fuck?
How do you know that? How, they posted their numbers? Secret
No,
Society posted
no.
their
I'll
numbers?
tell you how I know. I went to a Freemason lodge in Germany,
Wow.
a German Freemason lodge in Germany. I was
Lot of
just
fun
interested at the time. I was super bored. I kind of wanted to kill myself, so I decided to try to join the Freemasons instead. And I got in touch with a guy, and he said, "Yeah, if you want to come to like one of our visitor nights, you can come. I'll take you with me, and you know, so it's all cool." And so I went to a visitor night. It was in Offenbach, Germany. They owned a, I don't know, 12-story building in Offenbach, and the first floor was theirs, and the rest of the building was Sparkasse Bank.
Oh wow!
And so I
And
went
they
to
were on
go.
the first floor.
Yeah, they were on the first floor. So
Okay.
I went into the room. Their doors are very specific though too. If you see it, if you've seen the door before, you'll notice it all over the place now.
Would
But
it have,
anyway,
like, that little eye thing or whatever?
Are you talking
no,
about the one
it's
with the-
let me
with the-
Yeah, that,
door
the
to
ruler or the square or whatever?
Freemason Lodge. No, they have
Floor.
a very specific looking. Their doors look very specific. Like you could tell that they're. Yeah, they have it's the circle and the square is what they have on there
Okay.
Oh, the
usually.
circle in the square.
Yeah. But anyway,
Talking about
so
squaring the circle. That's I've heard of this.
circle with the square like that, and
Circle
anyway,
takes the square.
circle takes the square.
I've heard of it.
So
I don't know if that's from.
No money, no money, no money.
so I go, no
Now that
whammies.
thing- Now
Oh,
that
that's something
thing's in
different.
the Illuminati. You kidding me? That thing can make you rich or knock you into poverty in a
Oh,
second.
those little.
That-
What are those fucking things called? Those little.
whammies.
Whammies.
Yeah. that thing was a hell of a powerful entity back in the 80s.
That thing gave me the avoid the Noid vibes.
Right.
Right?
I always wondered if they were related.
What didn't it? Wasn't it creepy? Wasn't it just there's something like demonic about it or something? Like something. Like have you ever seen something and it just gave you the feeling like this is the devil? Like
Dude, you remember
Like
the
it-
sound when they push it? Went. It'd be a fucking dude like you ain't got no money, and he was all like,
Right.
there's just something creepy about it. And that was the same thing with the Noid, man. The Noid just gave me this, and no wonder that dude shot up that fucking store that one time.
What, Pizzagate?
No, the avoid the Noid. The guy, there was a
Pizza Hut.
avoid the Noid. There was a dude. His last
Domino's.
name
That
was
was
Noid.
Domino's.
Yeah.
That was Domino's. Yeah.
Now I got a fucking.
There was a shooting
Yeah, there was a
by
dude.
the Noid?
Yeah, there was a dude. He pizza workers can't avoid Noid held hostage for 5 hours. I want to find out. I want to find out some of these fucking people who they are when they make these articles. It's fucking amazing.
So wait, some dude. Oh, okay, yeah. So this dude dressed up as the Noid and like took a Domino's hostage or something.
a man, his name was Noid. A man named Noid was annoyed by the ads, and he thought that he wasn't just annoyed by it. He thought he was schizophrenic, and he thought that they were talking to him with those ads.
Jesus.
So yeah, one day he came into the fucking Domino's.
But it said he ordered and ate a pizza too.
Yeah, he did.
If you're there for 5 hours, you're gonna be hungry.
Yeah, he held him, and he held the place hostage, and that's why they got rid of the Noid commercials because of this guy. And I guess
This was
they,
in '89. This was in '89.
yeah, and I guess they're not afraid anymore about it, causing other people to be crazy because they're like, people are doing it anyway. People are just losing their shit, fucking shooting places up.
Well, I'm glad to see it didn't look like he killed anybody.
No, he just ate some
He
pizza.
killed a medium pizza, but who hasn't?
I mean, come on, who hasn't killed a medium pizza? A fucking medium.
First ones, they go down easy.
Oh my
That's
god.
that's
Those things
rookie
are like-
shit.
Things are like
I like
freaking
that stuff.
Doritos, man.
Like Doritos.
Oh God, I
They're
can't.
like
You
a
know,
flat nacho.
I can't eat that shit anymore at all. I feel super sick and like there's there's something wrong with me after I eat an entire bag of Doritos.
Yeah. I can't.
But-
I mean, I haven't been able to digest cheese in a decade, and
Right, I
now
heard
I
about
guess-
that.
Yeah.
Didn't it randomly happened? Like,
Yeah, I worked in pizza for 7 years, and I ate pizza every day. So maybe like my body's like, okay, you've got enough calcium until you're dead. But
your calcium
rubber.
reserves.
right, right, yeah, you have enough. You have enough MSGs until you're dead, which if you keep eating them, will be much sooner than later.
Wow.
Oh, no, I realized I remember when I was a kid, I would drink Mountain Dew, and every time I drank Mountain Dew, I get like heartburn.
Yeah,
Like
As a
stomach ache,
child,
really bad.
can you
As a
imagine that?
child.
As a child, as a delicious child.
And as a child.
Chris saying "delicious child" in that cloak, I actually believe him. Chris, where are your kids while you're wearing this thing? Are they like upstairs? They're like, don't come downstairs.
Yes.
They're literally upstairs complaining about pizza. Like
Yes,
last week.
they're upstairs. They're far away from me. No, they know my entire family's used to it. And unfortunately, my daughter's following into my footsteps. Some of the stuff she says is fucking hilarious.
Just let her be herself.
But I'm like, it's hilarious to a person with a very fucked up sense of humor like me. So you're gonna have a hard time. Kids in school are gonna be like, "You're a doo-doo head." She's like, "I'm gonna saw your head off."
My kid is 5, right? So I'm teaching her. She's interested in playing guitar because I'm playing it. You know, they mimic you, and so I'm playing this song, and she starts singing. Like, and when I'm done, I go, "What were you singing?" And she goes, "I'm singing Bleed the Black at the End." That was her first song she wrote. That's the lyrics.
Bleed the black
at the end. So I don't know.
Are you sure your daughter's not Norwegian? That's some
No,
Norwegian
she's-
death metal.
She's half American, quarter Mexican, and quarter German. So there's definitely some murder in there somewhere.
Yeah, those lyrics were definitely the German side. For sure.
Did I already said that, right? He lives in Mexico now. He used to live in Germany. That's where we met. Did I
Yeah,
bring that up?
our little pre-show chat here. I learned your backstory.
We call it pre-cum. And by the way, Tom, we had a discussion about that before. You said you've never had pre-cum before, which is odd.
Mike, please back me up on this. Pre-cum thing is bullshit.
What do you mean? Like you've never had it like as a drink, or it's never happened as like a bodily function?
I didn't know it was a thing.
Bodily function.
Well, Tom, I have to say, it must be nice being able to save it all for the grand finale.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking I'm
But not all.
organized. I'm
Yeah.
organized. I can put my ducks in a row. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That sounds like some really strong mind control. Yes, that is
I
a
didn't
real
know.
phenomenon that happens to most dudes.
Never
Actually,
heard of it.
The fact that it's never happened to you, I think maybe you might want to see like a doctor or something.
No, I'm fine. I got a kid. I'm old.
It
man.
tries-
I don't give a shit.
It's
I mean, I got some. What's that virus where you get like little like warts on your day? I got a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But I've seen that years ago.
what's
With the doctor.
I love how you just casually bring up genital warts. Like, I've got that virus where the warts are growing on my penis, but I don't know.
He
Yeah,
brings
that's-
it up
yeah.
and he looks around the
I-
room like,
Look. I have warts, but I don't have pre-cum. So it's like, it all balances out in the end, right?
life's about compromises.
Yeah.
Tom, do you ever bring up warts in like a room full of people to just like read the room to see like who's like silently nodding along?
I don't think I brought it up on stage. I don't think I brought it. I would though. I'm not afraid to do anything.
That sounds like a set closer to me.
for
It's definitely an opener, that's for sure.
for about a year and a half in Germany, like almost every store I walked into, I would go, AIDS! really loud, and then I would act like it was me and just kept walking, and then I'd finally turn back and look and see who's like looking around. And especially in Germany, like they're not used to, here in America you have people walking into stores, they're all like being crazy and shit. In Germany they're all fucking robots, just exactly like you think they'd be. So you walk into a store and you go, AIDS! Really loud.
Do you yell AIDS in German or in English?
Well, it's the same. AIDS
Oh, it is.
in German, yeah.
Today I
AIDS.
learned I know some German.
You know how to say AIDS in German now.
You know how to say kindergarten, don't you?
Kindergarten.
You'll at least protect yourself from getting raped by Angela Merkel. You just go AIDS. She'll go. Not
Have you watched
this
that-
one.
Who was the
She
dude
better
from
have.
Coach? Who was the dude from Coach that
Oh,
showed
Craig
Coach?
T. Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson. What was the movie he was in with Ghost and all that? With a bunch of
Poltergeist.
ghosts. Right, that's also a German word. Have a nice day.
Well, it's been great talking to you guys. I don't think this episode can get any better than it is right now.
It's
I
true.
turned it to like a game show. Craig T. Nelson. Poltergeist.
And that poltergeist was actually the Noid. Just couldn't see him.
That's where he went.
That shit is so
Oh
deep,
my
bro.
god.
Yeah.
That's where he went. He went into the movie Poltergeist. The most, I think the
Fan fiction.
me,
We just wrote some Craig T. Nelson fan fiction.
the Noid
which
was
is a
actually
growing
it.
genre.
Fan fiction is, I don't know. Part of it, I've read
Mostly
some
erotic.
shit. Yeah, most of the shit I read is kind of just whatever. But there are some really good writers out there, and to the point where you're like, why the fuck don't they hire these people for stuff? Why do they keep reusing the same old shit over and over and over and making it so obvious that you just want to blow your brains out? It's the reason why a show like Breaking Bad was so fucking huge, because the writing in it was actually writing. It was actually good. It wasn't focus on the explosions and his bicep in that picture.
Well, I mean, I think good writing is a risk too, because a lot of times good writing is new and it's
Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, you can just lose everything for saying something that's completely upsetting to people who have no understanding of what it is to have a rub against existence, because their whole life they've been eating donuts and shit. And they don't know anything. They're just like, I was at Starbucks and on the way over it rained, and I was like, what the fuck? So these people.
Yeah.
So writing, it all goes downhill, and it turns into what it is now, a beige, boring world.
Well, and also, I mean, new ideas are unproven as well. So, I mean,
Money-wise,
Breaking Bad was a new idea. They didn't necessarily know a show about a high school teacher turning to crime to take care of his family before he dies of cancer was going to work. Someone took a risk on it, but I mean,
but all the good shows were like that. I mean, maybe you don't like the show, but I like the show Seinfeld. I thought it was fucking brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so, even in the show, they made fun of the show itself. I was like, dude, this is fucking brilliant, man.
Right. I mean, they depicted the meetings. It's a show about nothing.
Right. So what's the thing with anything? If you don't try to do anything new, then you're going to just be, like Barrett said, just running over the same shit till you want to kill yourself. So, and that's what's happening to a lot of these networks and things like that. They're just unwilling to take risks, so therefore they're going to just sink with the battleship until this kind of stuff comes out, like podcasts and things. No one thought it would happen, and now it's the biggest thing going.
Right.
Well, stepping on your dick, bud.
Stepping on your dick.
That's
Sorry.
okay. I'm wearing a cup, so it's fine.
It's
And
Reebok penis.
That's the pump.
You can pump it up like the whole.
That's the future. That's our new idea. But we were talking about. I think this was when we were chatting before the show. We were talking about the trope of the bumbling fat man with the hot wife. I mean, that show that has been done over and over and over, because there's 100 shows like that, and maybe 2 of them will hit, and it's the safe formula. So.
Well, I think there's a lot of that, that hits me pretty personally, because I'm a fat, sweaty guy with my wife's pretty hot, and people, it's just something like
Kevin James' dream.
But the one that's even, I don't know if it's like a subgenre of it or like the main version, is that in every one of them, the man is the idiot.
Right.
He's always the idiot every time. Simpsons, Family Guy. I'm married with children. that was a different formula. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Kind
he was
of a
still
loser.
hapless.
He was a
yeah,
loser.
He was still hapless.
Yeah, still. Yeah, there's like they're always idiots. Like
Well, and you know, the one show that bucked that trend was Arrested Development. Jason Bateman's character was the one who wasn't an idiot, and it's regarded as one of the best written shows of all time. So,
Ozarks, man, the Ozarks or Ozark or what? I think it's just Ozark.
Ozark. Yeah.
I just watched that too, and people are like, "It's why even watch it? It's like Arrested Development." I'm like, "Oh my god, no!"
I'm like, I've never seen Ozark, but from what I understood, it's much darker. I didn't even know it was classified as.
You
a
haven't
comedy.
watched one, you haven't watched the other, and I'm 0 for 2.
Yeah. Well, here's the. I mean, literally, the only thing. I'm one of those people. This is how my adult interactions go. Hey, have you watched this on Netflix? No, I heard it's good. Have you watched this on Netflix? No, I heard it's good. I need to check it. There's so many shows that like I'm the worst person to make small talk with because I'm not into sports. I'm not into cars, and I don't watch shit. So
that's the thing.
What do you do? Let's go with that one. What is it that you do? I mean, it looks like you do hone a pizza once in a while, but like.
Yeah, I do that. That's a good call on your part.
I'm sorry, I love you.
I love you too, even though we just met.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, love at first sight. You know what?
Wait till I take my hat off, Mike, and then maybe not so much.
I didn't know there's a hideous monstrosity.
I didn't know green skin was a thing.
Yeah. Well, reptilian shapeshifter brother. Well, in my free time, what I do is, there's Office reruns on just about any channel every night. I scroll my phone. What's that? Yeah, The Office.
The Office? Okay, 0 for 3.
Yeah, that's fine. Because I'm 0 for everything else. I let my dog boss me around, and that's pretty much my free time.
Trudy.
Yeah. She owns the house.
So you're interrupted from watching a show you've seen a million times to take your dog for a shit, and that's your life.
or it's her telling me to take a shit.
Oh, she's telling you to take a shit.
She goes, outside.
And she raises her hand kind of like this.
Whoa,
you just peed on the carpet. You go outside.
And you also do some podcasting here, or?
Yeah, I do. I do a little podcasting. I don't know why I do podcasting because I've been doing a lot of podcasts for years. Oh yeah, that's whatever, Dave. That's that's our old feed. But yeah,
it's an old feed.
Yeah. So what happened? Oh, I got 3 5-star rating on this. So what happened is I asked my place of employment. They have a podcast site. And I said, can we bring whatever Dave over? And they said, yeah, but you can't use the old ones because you guys swear too much. So, yeah, right there, the great voice. That's the new feed right there. So it started. So that's my friend Dave. He's a producer at my place of employment. And a lot of times I think all of his ideas are bad. So one day he was filling in producing on the show I work on. And I was just in this mood that no matter what idea he was going to pitch to me, I was just going to shoot it down. And for some reason, we were having so much fun. I said, we need to make this a podcast. We brought on my friend Rich, who also likes to bust Dave's chops. And as you see in our latest episode, I think the podcast is ruining his life because although nobody listens to the podcast, Dave cannot go up to anyone who knows the three of us without them dismissing him and saying, whatever, Dave.
Whoa.
Like this past week, it was a coworker of ours' birthday.
That's so fucked up.
I know. And he texted him, said, happy birthday. And he didn't text him back, thank you. He just texted him back, whatever, Dave. And I'm like, holy crap. And there's some other people, I guess, who they listen to the show and they listen to us kind of like busting Dave's chops and like bullying him in like a showbiz type way. And he's getting bullied in real life. So this is a monster that I've created.
Yeah, just keep Dave away from beams and bridges for a while.
Yeah, right. Because I'll tell you what, the show's not going to turn into whatever, Mike. I will burn that show to the ground before I start being treated like Dave.
All right, whatever, Mike. Hey, because I mean, like, I see stuff and see stuff or whatever, but I I just remember I wrote you a couple days ago or a week ago or whatever. It doesn't matter. Some time ago. You were on the fucking radio because I listen to WJR on the road because I'm like 80 years old.
Yes.
So
right. You're aging into the demographic.
yeah, well, no, the truth is like I can't listen to the same song every fucking 5 minutes because most radio stations I hear like there's literally 5 songs that they play on repeat over and over and over, and then there's so many commercials. Yeah, there's so many commercials, and then finally I just stopped listening to music. Like I would just drive in my car like a psychopath.
And we literally haven't listened to the radio in 20 years.
Yeah.
Because Germany was awful.
Yeah.
Every channel was playing the same song. I proved it to my wife. I went to all these channels playing the same song at different points. And then, guten Morgen, heute haben wir, just shut the fuck up. And then I got here and it's all bam, 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 bam. Was it Ring of Fire?
It's similar here in the States where a lot of the play.
The future of the industry is very bright.
Yeah, in Plato's cave. Yeah.
So I randomly switched to AM, and I was like, I wanted to listen just whatever, you know, and then I came to WJR, and I found that there's actually quite a diversity of things that you guys talk about there. So it's not just constantly like one way or the other. So
well, and that's something I've been very pleased with in the past few years. Like. I got into talk radio because you know I used to love the hot talk format. Like 97.1 here in Detroit used to have like these great shows. It was like Howard Stern, obviously in the morning, and then there was like Dominski and Doyle, and it's like they would talk about news stories, but it was very like entertaining and accessible, and like the first 5-10 years I listened to talk radio. I had no idea that it was mostly just a bastion of conservative thought in an echo chamber. So
yeah.
When I started working over there, I'm like, wow. Wow.
Really?
These because I mean when I first listened, it was geared more towards kind of a younger audience myself. I was in my early 20s, and you know, I mean I follow politics because it's in the news, but I think I'm like everyone else, man. Politics it's just exhausting. And so, you know, for the longest time, I got this job at JR, and it's always been a great place to work. But, you know, the on-air product was pretty much like one viewpoint. And our program director kind of came in a few years ago, and he wanted to get it kind of back to like when my dad used to listen to it in like the 80s and 90s, where it's like, yeah, you talk about news, but you know, you don't have to have a certain political viewpoint. I mean, our national shows are still very conservative, but you know, our local shows, you know, the show I work on, the Guy Gordon Show. I mean,
that's what I was about to say, man.
It's a lot more. It's a lot more kind of balanced, and I'm a big fan of that trend because you guys were talking about music radio and how it's like sort of the same thing over and over, right. And you know, I'm on a show that doesn't necessarily have to have a political bent, and we get to kind of talk about things that are like relevant to people. And I think that's what radio should be. You should be talking about stuff that people care about instead of like, okay, what's the latest celebrity gossip?
Mike, what did you like me? I'm okay with Stern. It's okay. It's whatever. The one I really, really enjoyed was Opie and Anthony.
Yeah.
That was the one where it was like, this is killer because I like the comics on there. I like Opie was more of the left-leaning guy and fucking Anthony was more the right-leaning and carries a gun around. Yeah. And they would bump heads, and then the comics would come in and make fun of them. It was chaos.
Well, and to be honest, I mean, you know, I actually, my favorite type of talk radio is like two people or a team having an interesting conversation. Like, unless it's like a really interesting interview, I can do without the interviews.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
But I love listening to two, you know, intelligent, funny, quick-witted, highly skilled broadcasters just riffing and having a, you know, having a rapport.
Absolutely.
And you know, you get like random people just calling in with like crazy stories. And so that's what I like. You know, like this past week, the government, I guess, held their first hearing on UFOs in like 50 years. We threw it out, and we literally had full phone lines of people seeing UFO, with their stories of seeing UFOs, and a lot of them matched up. And I'm like, that's the type of stuff I like. I like having a conversation that everyone.
Like Art Bell. You listen to Art Bell. He was. Art
Bell
was amazing. Art
Yeah.
Bell was amazing.
Yeah, man. It's funny. There's sometimes I used to have to turn that off. They're like, okay, we're going to be playing tapes from this exorcism. I'm like, nope, I'm not listening to that before bed. Hell no.
That's when I turn it up.
Yeah, the most Catholic thing about me is my fear of exorcisms.
Oh, that gets into you no matter what. I don't think you can really find a person that was raised Catholic that doesn't just have like a small piece in them that fears fucking like hell. You know what I mean?
Demonic possession. Yeah.
Demonic possession, demons, shit like that. I remember. I was gonna say. I remember. Thanks for stepping on my dick. I like it.
He likes that. Yeah.
I had a joke, remember, before where I said the only time I don't believe in demons. The only time I believe in demons is when I'm in the shower and I'm shampooing my hair and I have to close my eyes. I have a feeling like a demon's gonna come and pull me out of the shower, like in the movie Ghost. When the demons come and take the souls of the people.
Oh,
And the guy's like, ah! He gets dragged off.
What are you gonna see when you open your eyes?
Nothing.
Right. Oh.
Exactly.
Right.
Absolutely.
That reminds me of the Stephen Wright joke where he's going for a job interview and he turns on the lights. If you're driving at the speed of light and you turn the headlights on in your car, what happens? The guy goes, I don't know. Goes, sorry, I don't want to work for you. Nothing.
One of my favorite Stephen Wright one was I found out I had a joke that was similar to it too that he had, but one of them was I worked at a company that makes fire hydrants and I couldn't park anywhere near the place.
Yeah.
And then yeah.
When I die, I'm gonna donate my body to science fiction.
The joke that was similar.
You ever wake up in the morning and have like something in your head? Like I woke up this morning and it was the William Shatner School of Pornography, and I don't know why.
Is that a real thing, or is that a concept you came up with yourself?
No, I woke up in my head. No, yeah. I don't know. I mean, he's like 75 and he still looks like he's like 65. So
over here you have the ladies. They're getting naked. Then over here there are the fluffers. They're fluffing the men, preparing them for. You
have to start off doing some same-sex stuff before you graduate to the other stuff.
Put it on the screen, Spock.
I have the feeling that she is really your stepsister.
Really, it's just normal porn, but they edit the captions to weird fetishes.
Yes.
So what if she's green? Go to the planet and make out with her.
That would be good. Like, we need to get a hold of William Shatner and be like, bro, stop that music shit that you're doing. That's not music. It's just you talking like a fucking weirdo.
Oh, like have him dub porn? That would be great.
And then Jim came into his stepsister's room and said,
oh no, she does not have enough money to pay for the plumbing.
Mom and Dad are not home right now.
Sure, she's a cheerleader in 18. It is legal, but is it ethical?
Ethics, man. Fucking ethics. Did you see my businessman Jim video?
Stun gun. That is a taser.
Did you see my fucking businessman Jim video? No. I said one of the fucking best things in there, and I think people were too focused on me saying the bad things to focus on the fact. So I'm gonna force this upon everybody and we're gonna watch it so I could just bring up that part. Where is it?
Oh, you want us to?
I'm gonna watch one of my own videos like a fucking loser.
Live react?
Yes, you're gonna live react one of my own videos.
All right.
First thing is I need to get my microphone working for my next ones. I do have a project that I'm working on right now too that's just gonna be pretty cool, but I don't want to expose it on here yet. But anyway.
Now, when did you post this? I don't even remember. I don't even remember the caption.
That's how we're gonna move this company into the 22nd century. Any questions? There ain't no fucking questions.
Is this a TED Talk?
You got a question about that, you got a fucking brain parasite. You got a question about that, you got fucking toxic plasmosis from eating your cat's
You have
shit.
toxic
You got a question
plasmosis.
about that?
That's the one I like.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, dipshit guy whose name I don't fucking know.
Do you think this plan will be ethical?
Whether it's ethical, it's not illegal, it's ethical.
Right there. If it's not illegal, it's ethical.
This was you? I thought this was Gary Vee and he just let himself go.
This.
You know Gary Vee means it because he drops a bunch of F-bombs.
This came about. The idea that I had for this video was just I wanted to act like I was melting cheese on my body with a blowtorch.
Right.
And so this
So this is where you got to.
yeah, okay, so it was
Brilliant,
reversed.
By the way, brilliant.
It was reverse engineered because I'm like, well, how am I going to get to the point where I'm melting cheese? I don't want to just, camera turns on, I'm laying on the ground with cheese on me and I'm melting it. I'm like, it needs to get there somehow. So
Backstory.
right. So I thought, wouldn't it be funny if like that's a businessman and that's the thing he does, to relieve his stress, the stress of the day, is he melts it on his stomach. And then I said, well, if it's a businessman, I can't just be wearing a suit and then pull open the suit and melt the cheese on me. There's got to be a backstory. So this whole part right here, this was all literally like, I set the camera in front of me and I'm like, you're in a business meeting, go. Say something. And this was all fucking just off the cuff. Like,
Take that to the fucking bank. Take that to the bank and fuck your skink wife with that shit. No signal, that's your fucking brain. No fucking signal.
Now, did
Yeah.
you put those
That's why I'm
little
up here,
edits
and you're-
in there for the bad words, or did YouTube do that?
YouTube did that. They blocked the bad words for some reason, yeah. I don't know why.
Does this video actually get to you melting cheese on your body? Is that like the payoff? Or?
Yes, yes.
How about you, Tom? I feel like we need to see that. I feel like he's burying the lead here.
So I'm like, okay.
I've seen it and
Oh, you have.
yeah.
So this
Well,
is
then you get to relive it for the first time through my eyes.
Oh, please screenshot that right there. That is just look at you.
I have
That should
a
be in your
headband around my part of my beard here because I wanted it to look like one of those, but it wasn't long enough, so it's just like a fucking hairband right there. So this part, I was like, well, the man was just in a meeting. He's got to go home
Right.
to melt the cheese. He's not just going to melt the cheese at the business meeting, although that might have been a funny idea too. So on the way, I just started driving.
Scenario, you don't want any plot holes.
Yeah.
Be doing calisthenics on your asshole.
I don't know what calisthenics on your asshole. And then I started thinking of the Google.
Where's the nearest whore I could fuck in the ass?
Wow.
Google.
This man
Find me
is
a
wound
homeless
up.
man so I can eat him. Google. Find me the nearest trailer park so I can laugh at how poor they are. Google. Send my mom a text message that says, fuck you. Google. Send my ex-wife a mail bomb.
Oh, man.
Google. Send Joe Biden an email and say, sniff my nuts. Google. Hire somebody to firebomb the nearest homeless shelter.
Oh.
So, my favorite Google one was, okay, so I drive to McDonald's, okay. I drove to McDonald's, where is it?
Elon Musk, that video.
Did the people at McDonald's, were they in on this, or were they completely
Patty.
shocked by what you're about?
This is pandemic, so they were closed, and they had they had their thing on, so
Yeah. So it looked open.
it looks open, but yeah.
Yeah, could I
Oh,
get
look at
just
you,
10
doing sex and
patties with
stuff.
no burger? No pickle, no onion, nothing. Just 10 patties. Google. Send everybody on my contact list a picture of my dick.
My favorite one was the Elon Musk thing.
Send Elon Musk that video of me taking a shit.
That was my favorite one. That one I should have just left that in. I should have just left that in and taken everything else out.
Google. Send Elon Musk that video of me taking a shit.
Anyway, so he goes home. And there's a package.
We got ourselves a little package.
Somebody sent him a package.
Okay.
And this is the part where I should have edited it a little bit better because it's way too long. Inside the package is some butter, eggs, and cheese. And a note that says, "You're a stovetop."
I never fucking got this part.
No.
This was the whole point of the video, though.
It makes
How do you
no
not get it?
sense. It makes no sense to me.
Is it
I
you're
just
hot
rather you.
enough? You're a stovetop because you're hot enough to melt cheese on your body? Is that the logic behind the stovetop?
I don't know.
It's more of a muffin top, isn't it?
It was. I think. Well, I think what I was trying to. If there is deeper meaning behind it, is this guy is a psychopath and he's losing his mind, and at this point, you know, it's like somebody calling him a stovetop is like as if like another businessman is like, you know, egging him on like you're a stovetop, man, and he's like, I'll show you a fucking stovetop.
Perhaps that other businessman could be Elon Musk.
True.
By the
Which
way,
is-
shout out to Citrus Strip with that product placement.
There's a lot of product placements in here.
A lot of cease and desists with this video.
Yes, if more than 5 people would watch this, I'd probably get in trouble.
I was gonna say, how many views does this get?
Not that many. I don't know.
I gotta tell you, I've wanted to look away many times, but I just can't.
Why don't you put the yolk in your belly button?
Right, that would be more functional.
Oh, there he goes.
This is the Illuminati part here.
So is that a real flame, or did you edit that in post?
No, that's a real flame. I'm being very careful to not really burn myself. See, now it's an egg.
Oh, that you made.
I was gonna say, did you make that egg and then bring it downstairs?
Yes.
Why is your face? Did you paint your face red?
I did a lot of editing effects with this, yeah. I was trying out things.
This video makes me want to call Child Protective Services. Are your kids helping you film this?
No. I set up 2 static cameras, so
Okay,
then I get 2 different camera angles.
This is like filmmaking here.
This is a whole 2 minutes at the end here of why the fuck is this a thing, but
This is gonna be one of those things people are gonna watch after you're dead, and then that's when they're gonna realize you're a genius.
I start melting butter on there.
But
Way
you get
too
to,
long.
Like, eat this omelet after you're done making it on your person.
Just
Love
eat it.
My favorite thing was the toxoplasmosis thing. Because you're fucking, because it's such a interesting reference, and the way you just like really go crazy on it.
Well, the only reason why that came up is because this is down here is where my cat's litter boxes are. So my brain just started trying to pull anything at any point. And my favorite part of the whole video is right here. When I got up after, yeah, I farted. It just naturally came out and it made me laugh.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't fake. That was an actual real fart here at the end.
You know what? Those are like those magical little moments that really make a film.
Make Chris Barrett who he is, who
Yeah.
we all know and love.
Well-
Because I can believe that guy farted getting up after all that. That's authentic.
I'm like all fucking covered in melted butter and egg. Because one of the eggs, the first egg I cracked, I didn't think about my stomach not really actually being a good stovetop and being, you know, like bendy. So then it fucking just fell completely down to the side. I'm like, God damn it, I should have thought of this before I did this. So I'm covered in egg. My suit is now covered in melted butter and egg. And I'm just laying there and I'm like, I'm done now. I was screaming and doing all this crazy shit. And I go to get up and then the fart comes out. And I was like,
Yeah.
what a way to end a video.
Right there, Russ.
Well, I like
Magic.
I want to try keep it going where I try to do something funny, but also something kind of fucked up and weird at the same time.
Right.
And I want to continue that. I want to continue that, even though I know like the last half of that whole video could have just been cut and it would just be a funny video and not some weird thing happening.
I would watch a series on that guy.
Businessman Jim. That's the thing. Like, I don't want to continue doing the same things, but there's a few things I want to go back to eventually. And there's the new idea that I have coming up that Tom knows about. I actually want to make like a series, so we'll see if I actually do it. I'm taking on a lot of things at the moment. I started doing stand up again last week with Mike Saliba.
How'd that go?
It was horrible. It was oh, sorry. Stepped on your dick.
Stepped on your dick.
We're out stepping on each other's dicks. That should be the name of the podcast, Stepping on Dicks.
We so the place is Gratiot Pub on like Gratiot, north of 14 Mile. And yeah, we went there and I think there was maybe 15 comedians and about 3 customers. So you're performing in front of comedians, and I'd never really done a whole lot of stand-up here with Americans. I'm only used to what we did in Germany. And what I noticed is, I hope none of the people, well, they're never going to watch this anyway. The 2 people in in Thailand are going to be fine with what I say. They're very confident, and their jokes are well written, but they're just horrible jokes. They're like lame, fucking cheesy, hacky jokes.
You're talking about American comics?
Yes. So the ones at least that I saw, they're like amateur comics. So they were very, very confident in what they were doing, but it was just lame as fuck. So then when I got on stage, I felt like a fucking alien. Like I got on stage, one of the jokes I told is my cat's depressed, and I think he, so I give him suicide possibilities. So if he kills himself, then I knew he was depressed. And I just felt like a fucking alien because they're all talking like topical stuff and like Seinfeldish sometimes at a point, like you're on an airplane and the airplane food.
So would you say that you stood out?
I stood out, but I was nervous as fuck, and everybody could tell.
Dude, of course.
Everybody could tell. I mean, I hadn't been on stage in 3 years, and I had no idea like how that would hit. But it was just fucking weird.
I mean, I gotta tell you, when it comes to stand-up comedy, that's something I can never do because, part of humor to me is surprise, and when you go to a stand-up show, their literal objective is to make you laugh. So like, if people are expecting you to be funny, I feel like their standard's much higher. Like if we're just talking, I can make a fart joke. You're not expecting me to make a fart joke, so you laugh. Oh, haha. But you're like, okay, so this guy, we're paying money to see him. He's gonna make us laugh. If he doesn't make us laugh, I want our money back. And I feel like stand-up comics are already playing from behind.
Yeah.
In that respect.
Mike, that's why there's tricks. There's like these tricks. Like even though you're telling a story in one direction, and you think as an audience member that the comic is going in a certain direction, you flip it over, or you make like a very harsh criticism while in the middle of doing something else, so it's a surprise.
Right.
There's many surprises.
It's being a magician.
It's an art form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I feel like I've talked to a lot of people, and most of them aren't that funny, and they'll be like, "I'm thinking of trying stand-up comedy," and I think a lot of people think you can just go up there and just like, I've got a lot of funny stories. Well, there's a difference between like a funny story that you tell your friends and like a funny story, as a stand-up comic.
The two things too, you can't tell a joke like that you would do on stage. You can't tell it to a group of people as if it was just a normal story, because it doesn't work. And the expectation too is like, oh, he's telling me a joke that he told on stage that got people to laugh, and then you tell it like you're on stage, and it just doesn't fucking work. But it's the reason why people that do crowd work, it works so well, because people know.
Is that like when you like have a conversation with someone in the crowd and you riff on them?
Yeah, it works so good. You can get away with a lot, like, jokes that normally wouldn't be that funny are funnier because people really get that feeling of it's happening now.
Spontaneous.
It's so spontaneous, yeah. And that's another important thing I think to throw in every once in a while is the spontaneousness feel to it. Mm-hmm. So that when you're telling your other jokes, people are like already in that mode. They're like, oh, he's just telling me a story, but he spent 5 months working on this. Oh, Tom left. Tom must have.
He must not have liked your story.
The cartel must have got him. He's
That's right. They found him finally. So, have you ever had to deal with like a heckler? I think to me that'd be the toughest thing, especially if like you're like I think dealing with a heckler if you're on your game would be easy, but if like you're off your game and you're already feeling like you're not having a great set, I feel like to me, like I would probably need like a great heckler strategy in my back pocket.
Well, I think you're a guy who's naturally funny, like, just talking and being able to riff on things and stuff like that. And if you have that, you have an advantage with a heckler, because there are comedians that aren't really like that. Like they're not good at riffing. They might be funny in a sense that they can write funny things. Yeah, like a good writer. So if you have somebody heckle you and you haven't, you don't have any material ready, then you're at a disadvantage. But if you're a person that's, like I said, that's kind of funny already, and you can riff like this, somebody comes at you, like, you could just bounce off whatever to them. And like I said, you have that advantage of that spontaneous feeling. So even if it's not that funny, it works out. Like I used to get hecklers all the time. I didn't even realize it, because some people would focus on like that feeling, like you're just saying, like, oh no, a heckler might, heckle me or something like that. But I just kind of ignored it. And if it happened in between, I'd shut it down in a way that you're funny, but at the same time that you're basically signaling that, like, that's the end. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to continue to talk to you. Now, if you like, I feel like if you go too much at them, they might want to continue to talk. Right. So, like, stupid situations. Like I told a joke. I said something about I don't see why I don't. It was the joke about women masturbating. I'm like, what do women masturbate to? Because I've seen men naked, and I don't see a woman thinking about this when they're doing that. And a guy goes, neither do I. And then all I said back to him was, thanks for the confidence boost, buddy. And that was it.
Right. You got to keep it short and pithy.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks for the confidence boost.
But if it's like, but the thing is, at the same time, if it's one of those situations where like half of the audience heard it and it's disruption, you have to repeat it as yourself. So this guy said blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then you respond. That way, you don't think they're being attacked, and then the crowd will turn against you. So
yeah, you can't attack. You can't shut the fuck up, you little faggot.
Right. You can't go.
This word is brought to you by.
You can't go Michael Richards.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would imagine there's a sweet spot there.
Well, yeah, I would just point stuff out. Sometimes I would mess with people, or if they're not paying attention, I would fuck with them. I remember there was this guy. I went on stage and he was talking on the phone. I'm like, who are you talking to? You talking to your mom? She you better not have sex with that slut or something. Just something stupid.
Sometimes the phone was ringing while I was on my set, and I was like, pick it up, give it to me. And I picked up the phone, and there was somebody on the phone, and I was like, so, hey, how's it going? I'm on stage, and I put it on speaker and just kind of riffed on it. I was like, yeah, you're interrupting my set right now. Yeah. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, they'll call you back later or whatever I did. I just handed the phone back. So I probably still got that on video somewhere. I think that was that clever, though.
The worst, or the one where first time that I really remember it happening and I thought I was going to get in trouble was I told a joke about me and my wife can't have sex doggy style anymore because she got my kids' names tattooed on her back. And I would never be able to get over blowing a load on my daughter's name. And this chick goes, I can't believe that you're talking about children and cum. And all I said to her was what? You can't have children without cum. So, and that was it. It just shut her down.
Wow.
Yeah.
You sound like you're pretty good at shutting down hecklers.
Well, you just gotta go. You just gotta go with it. You just,
he's got one of those. Yeah. But he never got that many hecklers. Either did I, though. So.
Yeah. Do you guys think a stand-up set would work where it's all setups and no punchlines? I think if I were to do it, I would just like be like,
It'd be
Yeah,
worth
yeah.
trying. It'd be
Yeah.
worth trying. I'll give you that much.
be like, I live in L.A. It's much different than my hometown. You ever see white people dancing at the club? Men and women are very different. Just go through all those. You just don't. You never pay off.
And then you go through like 10 of them, and then you do the punchlines, 10 punchlines in a row.
Oh, that's good.
So you guys got to do the math.
I feel like that's something the late great Norm Macdonald would do.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, that's the fun thing about it too. Like once you start pulling out structures of how structures are set up and everything like that, where you start messing with them. And like one of my favorite things is to do the reverse engineering thing. You have an idea, you're like, how can I get myself to that point? And that's why I had a joke. It was yeah.
How do I fucking make a sandwich on my fat gut?
How do I make myself an omelet?
Well, I did.
Myself a literal omelet.
The most messed up one I tried was the mass grave full of cum-filled dead bodies, is what I
My
said.
favorite. Yeah, I like that one. And
And
he
which
did
is
that- to give this a
cringy.
little bit of context. The first time we heard it, we were doing this show where we would take people out of the restaurant and put them in an extra room, and there's maybe 5 people in there, and we're just standing in there with mics, and there's like people eating chicken wings, and he's like all up on their plate and shit, like,
Right.
like a fucking. You don't understand. I kill my wife like 75 times.
Right. Half the fun was them not knowing if they were gonna live or die.
No, it was really fun for me to see it.
Well, like
Many deaths.
so the reverse engineering was like, okay, well, how can we get there safely without trying to take people there? And it started with if you had a cloning machine, then you can have a three-way because you weren't really cheating if it's your wife.
I'm sorry to step on your dick again, but is it that you wanted to have a grave filled with? Are you telling me you started with this nugget of wisdom?
Yes.
And you had to make the cloning machine?
Yes, I wanted to
I
make
thought you
it.
went from cloning machine to okay. No,
I'm trying to make it
no.
so you have to make it okay and slowly bring people there. So like I said, it starts
I
out with the
didn't know you were
cloning
doing
machine.
that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a.
No. Like it. I started with.
You take a ghastly outcome and then slowly ease people towards it.
Yes, I wanted to get an older lady that came to the show to laugh at me saying a mass grave full of cum-filled dead bodies, and that was my goal. And I should have worked on many other types of goals, like becoming better as a comedian and not saying like so much and as much and
Vocal crutches, yeah.
stuff like that. But instead, I was working on how can I
And
get
then
people to
some
laugh.
Dead bodies in a grave became your vocal crutch.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I had one similar too, where like all I wanted to do was have a big shit in my neighbor's yard full of nuts. I think you helped me on this, Barrett, a long time ago. I wanted to have a big shit full of a bunch of nuts, and that the neighbor thought there was a giant squirrel in the neighborhood.
I'm really learning just
That was my
how-
idea. And to get to that point,
Yeah.
I had to shit in the backyard. So how do I shit in the backyard? My wife was mad at me because I didn't put the toilet seat down. So the only way I can get to that is that I would actually say, well, so me in my crazy way, I would actually, because she was mad at me for not putting the toilet seat down, I decided to fix it by shitting in the yard. So I took the audience, like the energy, and like squatted down on the stage, and then I'm talking to my dog who's shitting next to me. So it was like to get that was like the hardest piece is like to swing the energy down. That's what I noticed.
I'm
But I
really
never
learning
reversed engineered so much.
Right. Just the vibrant imagery of German stand-up comedy.
There was a lot of us actually. There was a lot of us doing some dark stuff.
Yeah, it maybe got a little bit too dicky and cummy, but
No, maybe you.
Yeah, so how did you get there, Chris?
I was gonna kill myself, like
No, I
every
mean,
other
how did you get
comedian.
there with the joke.
Oh, how did I get there with the joke? So yeah, my So cloning machine, I'm gonna just give the key points here. Cloning machine, you can clone your wife, and then you can have a three-way without her getting upset because it's actually her. And then you know how all women are; they're jealous of each other. One woman kills the other one, and then you realize, oh wow, all I have to do is just hit the clone button, and you got her back. and then one drunken night, rage or whatever, you accidentally kill her, and then you hit the clone button. You realize you could do this all the time, and then after like the third funeral, people are gonna start noticing something weird's happening.
You're gonna start questioning.
Right. So then that's how you start having to bury him in the backyard, and now you have a mass grave full of cum-filled dead bodies in your backyard. But it took a little bit longer to get.
Laugh.
It's a logical conclusion.
Well,
It
now
was-
you say that it's it sounds almost normal.
Well, it was. I got there a little bit more eloquently, I think,
Yeah.
because it slowly got there to the point where it's okay for me to kill her or whatever, because you just hit the clone
That
button.
was basically me looking at your set list. Actually, the way you said that,
Yeah.
that was me looking at your set list. The way
Yeah.
you did it in your mind. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, well, like some comics write like their entire like all their jokes. They write the entire wording out,
Everything.
and I would just write key points, and then I would go on stage and try to fumble through it somehow.
Right.
I learned that from you, by the way. I used to actually write down every little line,
Hmm.
and then it became maybe 30%. Like, for me, it's key points to get to the next point.
Yeah,
And then in between, I would just kind of like figure it out. And what happens is that your own voice then comes out, and that becomes like the funnier part. Actually, is the part where you're kind of fumbling and stumbling, or you kind of riff on something, and then you get to the next point. So yeah, I learned that from him. Well, maybe other people too, but I remember seeing him just kind of go, "Let's fucking see what happens." So
More
So this is-
conversational that way.
so
no,
so this
no,
is.
some-
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on
Step
dicks.
on the dick. That's okay.
So this is your other podcast. Are you gonna come back to it eventually, or is this just?
This one
The history now.
probably not. This one was actually a relaunch. My friend Kyle and I, we did this. We did this, and to be honest, the news cycle got a bit heavy. Him and I. It's funny. We started this as like a goof podcast, and then we just started talking about news, and like every single episode like bummed us out. So we're
Yeah.
like, okay.
Oh yeah, black pilled.
Yeah. So I think I asked him before the 2020 primaries if he'd want to like relaunch this podcast just for like, to follow the election and stuff. And so we ended up doing that, and we kept it going. Oh, March 24th, 2021. Yeah, we actually stopped doing this because I got mad at Kyle for about a year, and that's how that podcast ended.
Oh wow, it might have been better if you were mad at him to have the podcast keep going, right? It would have been
Yeah.
more interesting.
Right. It would just be like very passive aggressive.
Yeah,
Well,
but you're petty, so I get it.
That is all I've got. But it's odd because we were talking about sort of the life cycle of podcasts, of podcasting. I think before we went live here. It
Yeah,
all starts. You're really excited about it. You pick a friend or two, and you're like, okay, we're just gonna do this and have like a great time. And you're like very motivated, and then you start trying to like build the thing, and it seems like the more you push, the more effort you put into it. You go check your listeners, and it's like there's 2 people. So then the honeymoon's over, and you start hating doing it. And I think from like 2019 through the pandemic, I wasn't doing any of this stuff. And then I'm like, okay, well, it's the pandemic. I'm bored. Maybe I'll get back into podcasting. And then so I started off doing this and Whatever Dave once a month. And then this kind of went away, and we started building up Whatever Dave. And then I also do this it's like a weekly look back of like news stories on our station called Pod Sui. It's like a takeoff of Talk Soup, but not a direct ripoff. So now I'm kind of back into that. I'm putting a lot of work into these things, and so I don't know. I feel like that bubble might be popping again, and then I'll stop doing it for 2 years,
And then you move on to the next one.
do it and do it until I'm banging my head against the wall.
It's kind of like relationships.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
just like, yeah.
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
oh, this is exciting. She smells good, and then you're just like 3 years in, you're like, bitch, comb your hair.
Right. These podcasts are my bad boy complex. This time it'll be different. This time I'm gonna make it work, and then I fall into
Yeah,
the pattern.
it's like the rebound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you,
I was like, okay, the payoff is having fun with your friends, and I'm like, ooh, oh, okay. Well, maybe if I do this, I can get more listeners. I do this. Nope. Just go back to having fun with your friends.
Well, how many have you done? I mean, like when you go through, like, say, which one is the longest running one? This one?
This one was the longest running one.
How many episodes did you have?
I started it in like 2011.
Oof.
And I think we did it regularly until like 2018 or 2019.
Wow, dude. So you're up like in the hundreds.
Yeah. So we did a ton, and I'm sure these aren't even all of them, because what would happen is like, okay, I'd stop doing it, then I'd relaunch it. Like the first run was on like Libsyn, and then the second run was on Spreaker, and then like the third run. So like, there's a whole bunch of different turn the radio offs, like just scattered like the dead bodies in Chris's joke, like all over the internet.
Like it was like Dexter, like he had to put some of them in a bag and put them in the water here. And
Right.
then he's like, oh fuck, the chick thinks I know, and then I got you.
Right. And then, I got to be honest, I don't exactly know. I don't remember everything we've talked about on all these, so I don't know if I want them all to be found, like going back to like 2015. I'm
like
a very different person now than I was.
A Trail of Tears. I got you.
Yeah. So
There's the gay archives in there and stuff. There's nothing to be like ashamed about, Mike.
well,
That-
it's odd because like I'll look at my Facebook memories and there'll be something like. That's
Dude,
like,
we all do that.
yeah. There's
Oh
a
my god.
there's a character of me from like about 2011 through 2012. I call him alt-right Mike. I wasn't quite there. But
Close.
there's, like, some beginning seeds where I'm like, wow. I said, this dude could have become like a Trumper if things broke
Alt-right
differently.
Mike.
Yeah.
I believed in Pizzagate for a little while, so don't feel that bad. I was reading all the shit online about it, and I was all full into it. Like, yeah, they're gonna take down those pedophiles.
Right.
And then
That's a more of a Q thing. What is it?
no, it was
necessarily
before
alt-right?
Q. Before
There's
Q.
probably a precursor to Q. There's probably a lot of overlap between Pizzagate and Q.
Pizzagate, I think, pulled in a lot of people to Q because as it was happening, that's what got me to jump out of it. When Q came, I immediately was like, this is total bullshit. And then I was like, I'm out. And that was it. I got out of it. I realized, like, no, they're not. There's not a secret group of people trying to go against the deep state, and they're not going to be fucking getting all these pedophiles and all this other stuff.
If you ask me, it's a psyop. It's a psyop to make you think that something's going to fix it, and then you realize it's complete bullshit, which gives you then utter, like, oh, we're completely doomed.
Yeah.
If you look at the suicide statistics. They've been going up steadily. And by the way, women, if you want to be equal, you got to kill yourself more too. Get in there, minorities. Get in there, minorities. Get in there, get a gun.
Yeah. Let's not take it that way. Let's just stop killing ourselves as much.
No, I'm going to take my white privilege and show minorities how to kill themselves.
Wow. Okie dokie. What was I gonna say?
I'm just gonna mow over that. Okay.
Yeah, Kamala Harris, man. What about her?
I actually wasn't here for the podcast when Tom said that. I stepped out.
No,
I stepped out to make a donation to charity.
I'm just going statistical things.
it's true. Men make up 69% of all suicides. White middle-aged men.
Right. Thank you.
And that's just the patriarchy at work again. Us having to be number one. Kamala Harris hauls in $450K in book royalties. The question is, why do we even care? But I just thought it'd be interesting to go over because, wow, like think about it. All you have to do is become vice president, and you can make a shitload of money telling the
She's actually
story.
really hot, dude. That's I mean, with makeup and lighting, dude, she's hot, man.
The truths we hold. Like, you told that Joe Biden, you said that Joe Biden should say sorry to all his sexual harassment victims, and a few weeks later, you were like, hey, I'll be your vice president.
And then, don't come.
Do not. Oh, that was my favorite one, yeah. Do not come. Do not come.
I must have missed that part of the debate.
Well, no, that wasn't part of the debate. It was later on. She had a talk, I think it was in Guatemala or something like that. And she was telling, like, all the refugees coming in from the border, she was telling them not to come.
Oh, right.
Do not come. Do not
But when
come.
Trump said it when he was in office, you can see her shaking her head in derision.
Doesn't
Shaking her
450
head in derision.
doesn't 450,000 sound kind of low though for a vice presidential memoir?
True.
Yeah.
It should be a little bit more. Maybe she's not as popular as she thinks. I don't know.
Can you imagine being a politician too? Like, you bring up the part of the debate where honestly, I thought she harpooned Biden's presidency when she called him out about the racist stuff from his past and stuff. I bet you after that debate, they think nothing of it. It's like a sport.
Oh, they shake hands. They shake hands. Yeah, they're like,
exactly.
wow, you almost got me.
It's like hockey players. They go out there and they beat each other's brains out, and then after they have a beer together. That's what these people do. They go and they assassinate each other's reputation. It's like, hey, good game. I need some of that in my cabinet.
But actually,
my vice president.
He's like, now that I think of it, Joe, you made the 1994 crime bill put more black people in prison and I want to keep them in prison. Like, we have a lot in the same. Okay, right. Joe.
It's like, hey, Tom, you and I just spent an hour and a half calling each other racist on TV. Why don't we pass this bill to make sure that babies can't get formulas easily?
What's the most diabolical thing we can do together? Yeah.
Right. All right. Let's go back to making life harder for these peons, which is why we're all really here.
It's the real reason why we're here.
Right. Let's not lose sight of that.
I pulled this up, the red state. I don't know about that from this article, but anyway, Bezos goes after Biden again on Twitter, busting him bad. The second richest man is going after our president. You thought that they're supposed to be friends. What happened? What did he say? So Biden said, you want to bring down inflation? Let's make the wealthiest corporations pay their fair share. Jeff Bezos puts, the newly created disinformation board should review this tweet, or maybe they need to form a new non-sequitur board instead. Raising corp taxes is fine to discuss. Taming inflation is critical to discussion. Mushing them together is just misdirection. Damn, Mr. Bezos!
Well,
you get him!
Bezos isn't going to like that.
Of course he's not going to like paying taxes instead of tax incentives. Like, hey, I brought a bunch of jobs here. I mean, why should I give you money? I'm making the money over here for you guys.
You think Bezos is like trying to become a part of like Elon Musk's gang? Because whether you like Elon Musk or not, he's actually really good at roasting people on Twitter now. Didn't he? What did he call Biden? He called Biden like a soggy piece of bread in human form or something. It was like a real wholesome but like funny diss.
Yeah.
And I feel like Jeff Bezos is like, yes, I too would like to poke fun at the president.
Exactly, but he's doing a horrible job at it.
Right. I mean, like, look at that guy. That guy's not roasting anybody.
What is this?
He can like roast you, like make your life hell if you're an Amazon employee. But like when it comes to roasting the president, I mean,
I don't understand why we should be listening to these billionaires anyway. I got a pot roast in the oven right now. Like, honestly, who gives a shit?
Right. I mean, it's the thing. Neither one of these two are looking out for our best interest. Like, is there a way they both can lose?
Until we finally fucking do something about it, it's gonna be. We're not in that generation, unfortunately. We're in the
Skinner plane ride.
We're in the. Jesus Christ! How can you say that? How could you say that about the band that made Freebird?
Yeah.
Come on.
But they also had the Confederate flag behind them too, didn't they?
What? What?
They had a Confederate flag behind them when they were playing.
Yeah, but come on. Anyway, so AOC says, tired of having to collectively stress about the explosion of hate crimes is happening because some billionaire with an ego problem unilaterally controls a massive communication platform and skews it because Tucker Carlson or Peter Thiel took him to dinner and made him feel special. And Elon says, stop hitting on me. I'm really shy.
That's really good answer.
You know what? I actually used that exact line without knowing it. I got into an art. argument with these people on the Daily Wire because it keeps showing up in my feed, and I just said, "Dear Facebook algorithm, please stop showing me all this stuff from the Daily Wire." It wasn't necessarily a shot against their politics. I was just sick of seeing the advertising.
Yeah.
Is that Ben Shapiro?
Yeah.
It's Ben Shapiro's thing, which I'm not huge on Ben Shapiro, but
No, me either. I just don't like the way he talks.
yeah, he talks like every hacker in every '90s movie. But this one guy,
Will Smith, and then he slaps him.
I bypassed the firewall and I'm able to hack into the mainframe. We've got 90 seconds.
Yes, dude.
The reason why
What a great fucking.
the reason why I hate Ben Shapiro so much is that he goes to great lengths in investigating and reading and learning and statistics and data, and purposely forms the wrong conclusion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's got a product that he has to push. You know.
Right, and the people want to see the little Jew guy, be mean because the Jew guy is supposed to be not mean. The Jew guy mean.
I actually like some of the things he actually does say, but I just don't like the way. I just don't like his personality, so it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's me. So.
yeah, and so I just said, "Dear Facebook algorithm, please stop showing me all this Daily Wire stuff." And this one guy said, "Keep scrolling, cuck." And I said that exact same thing to him. They're like, okay. Well,
Stop hitting on me.
obviously, this guy doesn't like gay people, so I'm going to make him uncomfortable.
That's usually the go-to is against the people that are gay people, or not people that are gay, people that are homophobic, is to say gay, and then they go, "Oh, you're making fun of gay people by saying that I'm gay because you're making fun of me." It's like, no, I'm not. I'm just
Someone calling me or thinking I'm gay doesn't bother me. I'm like,
exactly.
There's things you can mistake me for. Like, you can mistake me for being an asshole.
Right.
I'd rather you think I was gay than an asshole.
Like me in high school.
Right. I know.
Like me in high school. I bring it up because I'm pretty sure you were at one of the parties where I was making out with this guy. I'm not going to say his name at a party.
It's nice of you to assume I was invited to parties in high school.
I swear, I thought you had like a thing of, because maybe I was really drunk and it wasn't you, but I thought I bought like a pint or something of like pucker off of you, and I downed it at a party somewhere.
Okay, I think I might know whose house this was at, but I don't remember you making out with a dude. Which, look, it's cool if you were.
Well, I bring up the story because I don't think I was bi or gay or anything. I think I was actually just trying to upset people. So
You were being controversial.
Exactly, and I realize how cringy that is, to be honest. But
well, I got to be honest with you. I hate to burst your bubble. I don't think it worked because I don't even remember like rumors going around you were making out with a dude. Like, no offense, there's no buzz around this.
Well, there's probably no rumors because I did it at a fucking high school party.
Right, but like I never even heard people say like I heard the rumor of the one kid who ate dog turds. I heard the rumor of a kid who was like allegedly pleasuring himself in class. I've heard those rumors. I never heard any stories about you making out with a dude.
Well, it was probably
popular.
one of the things. Well, one of the things I think it might have been too is because that's probably not the worst thing that you would have heard that I did too. So, and the fact that I know in high school I was just doing whatever. So, but yeah, I would have fucked him in front of everybody. I don't care. At that point, I was just like, fuck all these people, and I think that's what the point was. So, monkeypox, we gotta watch out for it, huh? You like segues are not a thing here. CDC and Massachusetts health officials investigating monkeypox. So that's a new thing we got to be scared of.
The left side is what, amoebas, and the right side is what?
They got pictures of it right here. The monkeypox.
Yeah,
It looks.
Google image search monkeypox. Never Google image search like anything because you're gonna get the worst. Like
I did that with the fucking rash on myself. I remember the rash I had. Oh.
Right. I mean, I've had eczema my whole life, and like when you look at it, it's just kind of red and dry. But if like you Google image search, I might as well have Ebola.
You're like, you got leprosy now, pretty much.
Exactly.
Your skin is gonna start falling off your body. When really, in reality, it's like, why doesn't this itchy spot go away?
All right, let's slap a little lotion on that, and
So
use
that's
the rest of the lotion for recreation.
It looks like bacteria to me. I'm sorry.
So that's what everybody says is going to be the next thing that kills us is the monkeypox, and the conspiracy theory people are like, yeah, that's the distraction. That's the next one. That's the one that they're gonna put the chips in us.
Right.
They're gonna make
Here's
us
the
put.
Don't you
Here's
love
the
how
new.
like?
Okay, good, Mike.
No, go ahead, Tom. I'm stepping on
okay.
your dick now.
Sorry. Ow, Mike. Here's the next conspiracy theory for you guys. Germ theory versus terrain theory. Dun dun dun.
What does that mean?
Yeah, tell us more.
Well, germ theory is that there's an outside force attacking your body, and terrain theory is that your body is just excreting toxins at a certain time of the year.
So what, like,
Technically, I mean that's cold.
No, I'm not an expert on this, guys. Don't ask. I'm just look into it, dude.
like real toxins or something's been planted in us to
No, like exosomes. And look, if you want to look, did you see what the Pfizer just came out with? Pfizer with the pill with the fucking Pfizer. I just posted it on one of the chats we had there, Barrett. Pfizer pill with chips in it. Look it up. They actually admitted to it. It's a new
So what,
technology.
you take this pill and that's what makes your body emit the toxins.
No, this pill that I'm sorry, I kind of moved over, but I found
That's okay.
this is new technology with a pill in it that when it's swallowed and ingested, it lets go, and then it sends a signal that tells the doctor that you actually took the pill.
Oh.
what?
I just fucking sent it on the chat. Look it up. It's a fucking truth now.
I gotta tell you, with where my imagination was going, it's kind of a relief to find out that it's just emitting a signal to it.
Yeah, but look it up. Though.
Microbots.
Terrain theory versus germ theory. It's just look into it. Like I said, I don't know all the ins and outs. Exosomes, toxins. You know how the people with the fucking crystals and shit talk about toxins and shit, but at the same time, it's like, why not open up your horizons to think about something else?
So
it's
like,
feasible. I mean, people have taken pills that like allow doctors to see inside, doing like scopes and stuff. So
Play that video, Chris, about the fucking.
I'm
Pfizer
looking
shit.
for the fucking video that you put. I can't find it. Of course, I can't find it.
I wrote holy.
When
shit.
did you post it?
I posted it on. Hold on, I'm looking. I
Fecal
posted
transplants
at
is not it.
11:30 this morning, or 11:30 a.m. my time.
To me or to the fucking
to
thing?
To our chat.
Oh, this is a video.
Yeah,
Okay.
that video right there. Watch what he says.
All right.
while you
One.
pull that up, I guess I'll say the good news about monkeypox is that you have to come in direct contact with bodily fluids. So it's not like it's like COVID where you can just get it from breathing.
Yeah, all those bukkake porn stars are going to be having a hard time.
Just keep your fluids to yourself and you'll be okay.
Check out what
I
this
have a
guy
question
says.
about patient engagement, and you had touched on this before. All of these advances are amazing, but even if you make the greatest drug or the greatest wearable, there's no guarantee that the patient is going to take the drug or wear the device. So how are you thinking about technology to engage the patient?
Again, maybe I will use an example. I think it's fascinating what's happening in this field right now. I mean, FDA approved the first electronic pill, if I can call it like that. So it is basically biological chip that it is in the tablet. And once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that. Compliance.
Listen.
The insurance companies to know that
Compliance.
the medicines that patients should take, they do take them. It is fascinating what happens in this field. But of
That
course,
shit put fucking
there will be
chills
an
down my
initial cost
spine.
that someone needs
I
to
could definitely
invest.
see insurance
If you
companies
sleep on your
using
side,
this to
I bet
jack
you
up
hate
your
your-
rates. I see that being the most likely scenario here.
If you don't take this pill, we will know. If you don't take this medicine, we will know. That shit is scary, and no, everyone's like,
Well,
technology.
they're thinking about old people that are like, no, I don't want to take that.
I
And
don't care who
then,
they're thinking about. I don't care if they're thinking about fucking Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber. I don't give a fuck what they're thinking about. That shit is fucked up.
well, yeah, it's. I mean, sorry, I'm stepping on
No,
Mike's
go ahead,
stick.
Chris.
You go. You go now.
I was gonna say, if you're a doctor, do you really want all these notifications every time one of your patients takes like a fucking Allegra or
No,
whatever?
the
Mike
doctor
just
does-
took a shit.
Mike,
There
it's
was a
not for
little
the
blood
doctors.
in it.
It's not for the doctors, Mike. It's not for the doctors.
For the insurance companies.
No.
Mike just ejaculated.
It's control. Didn't you hear what he says? Compliance. It's for control.
Mike is shitting and coming at the same time.
Doc, I'll send you a FaceTime. I mean, look, just like with anything, there's I'm sure there are some good practical applications, and there are some nefarious ways that it could be used and abused. And
Sorry, I don't want any of it.
Like the
Yeah,
United
Put me
States
back in
government.
1865 and give me a horse and a carriage, and I'm happy.
right,
Stinky pussy, hairy armpits, I'll take it all.
Let's.
I just don't want people knowing if I took a pill or not.
well,
Fuck
and
yourself.
hopefully, hopefully there's something in place. There won't be anything in place, but something to be put in place that if you are given this, you know it's being given to you, and you consent to it. Which not a lot of people would consent to it. I mean, I think okay, maybe if you're a caretaker for like an elderly loved one, whose mind might be going, this might be helpful. But
Make sure
the thing.
Grandma took
That's
the
the thing.
pill.
Consent or no consent, how do you know it's not in there? They can put it in anything, bro. It's like you don't know.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Is they don't need consent. They don't need
Right,
consent
you're
to do
talking about
anything.
you're talking about like CIA type thing
Right,
where
Not
like
CIA. Look, they're trying to collect as much data from us as possible. That way they can pigeonhole you, not just to send you advertising and things like that. To do, I don't trust any of this shit, man. Any of it. For me, it's all nefarious as fuck. And I don't want any oversight from any overlords, any big brother. Just leave me alone. I just want to jerk off and eat a papaya.
In peace and privacy.
In privacy. Leave me the fuck alone.
Tom's eating a papaya and masturbating.
Those
The
little
fucking
nasty seeds in
your
there.
fucking doctor just sends you like a sad face because of all the alerts that he's getting. It's like
Please,
Tom,
please
Tom,
stop doing that with papayas.
Tom, I
Drink some
can't
water, you're
sleep.
depleting your fluids, Tom.
Yeah. I mean, it's scary anytime this technology exists because, a lot of times when you heard about stuff like this, the technology doesn't exist anyway, so it's far-fetched. So
Well, aren't you a little upset that they can track you with your phone anywhere? Is anyone fucking bothered by that?
Yeah.
funny, it's funny, though, because you're
Just
right.
leave it at home.
20 years ago, people are like, oh, I would never carry something that lets people know what I'm doing 24 hours a day. It's sort of like the internet. Remember when you first got the internet? Your mom's like, don't tell anyone your name. Don't tell anyone the geographic location that you live in. And don't post any pictures of yourself.
And then your mom would be like, remember you used to sit too close to the TV? She was like, back up, you're too close to the screen. Now everybody is just,
Right.
someone
Yeah.
sent me a message with the dick on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking,
I mean,
we become retards, man.
right. I mean, it's the old axiom. Probably the normal citizen, the normal citizen isn't going to be affected by this, and people aren't going to be tracking you. But that doesn't mean it's never going to happen, and that doesn't mean that technology doesn't exist for nefarious
Mike,
things to happen.
to specify, Mike, it's not like they're tracking you individually.
Right.
That's not what I mean. But it all goes into a database. Like say for example, you asked 1 million people a question about how many marbles are in a bag.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get people who say 1, which is wrong, and people say 10 million, which is wrong. But if you ask enough people over time, you're going to eventually get the answer.
Yeah, it's like the idea that actually Alex Jones was talking about with Google, the machine that they're like trying to build that basically can predict the future based off of like metadata and searches and all that shit. You have enough you get enough of a certain type of information, you can kind of foresee where things are going. For instance, you know, the trends with like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. Now imagine the government gets a hold of the data. They know, okay, there's like a swell in this area of this type of activity. We can quell it before it even, gets too big.
Right.
But well, I mean that's like it's the same way you look at everything. I see you look at the one side of it. You could say it could be positive. It can, and the other side it could be used for, nefarious things.
Right.
You take a pill
But
or
either
you
way,
eat a food.
I don't want it either way. I don't want it where it's nefarious or not nefarious. Just leave me the fuck alone.
Right,
You
Ted
don't even want the
Kaczynski was
options out there.
yeah. Ted Kaczynski's right.
Exactly. I'm a manifesto believer. I'm the lone wolf.
I believe a lot of the stuff that he wrote is very intelligent and everything like that, but he also was a fucking psychopath that decided to just blow people up. So, I mean, what do we do with this information?
He was also part of the. I think we talked about this before, but he was also part of the experiments that the CIA.
MK Ultra.
No, I don't know if it was MK Ultra as much.
It was part of the MK Ultra's the umbrella underneath all these other programs.
Looking Glass or something like that.
Yeah, they're all underneath the same thing.
Okay, underneath the same shield.
Yeah.
So
Their umbrella.
did they experiment with him after he was caught, or like?
No, it was like at college. They were
Yeah.
giving him LSD.
He graduated early. He went to college. The project, or actually what they did with him, was they wanted to see if they could take a highly intelligent, promising young man, and they wanted to see what type of effect it would have on him when all of the things that he gets back from his like tutors and teachers and mentors, if all of the things he got back were negative. So what would happen is he would go into a room and he would have like a conversation with this guy who was like his mentor, like a professor who was actually working for this program, and he would bring him these theories and these ideas and like this brilliant shit, and he would lay it out with all the evidence, like the way you're supposed to do it, and the guy's job was to shoot it down. The guy's job was literally like, that's the most infantile thing that you have ever said. And he would argue against it, and he would just be negative. And in the beginning, Ted would take it as like no, fuck this guy. I'm going to come back with him with something brilliant. And every time he'd go there, the guy would shoot him down. And it eventually was what broke him. It broke him and basically made him, all of this, society where we're going. Yeah.
And then what do they want to do with this research?
Manipulation. Like a lot of the MK Ultra shit wasn't just to do, to do fucked up stuff. They wanted to find a drug. Like one of the things, they wanted to find a drug that would definitely make people tell the truth. They wanted to find a drug that would be able to influence people's thoughts. They wanted to create stuff like that because they wanted to psychologically have an advantage over their enemy. So that's a lot of the reason why they used LSD is because they found LSD had, truth serum-ish type things to it, and they thought that if they took LSD and they used it on people, there was one test that they did in Canada. I have to look up the exact place and the guy that did it. They were giving people doses of LSD like routinely, to the point where there were people that went months without being normal. They were on LSD constantly for months. And there were also experiments where they had sensory deprivation and LSD at the same time. So this person is basically blindfolded, can't hear anything, restrained in a bed on LSD for days and days and days and days. And they wanted to see if they were able to basically wipe the slate clean, like fucking Men in Black with the pen,
Right, the little thing, yeah.
and then implant a new personality or completely change them. And what they found out is they just fucked a lot of people up.
Yeah.
So just go out there this November and wave your flags and make sure that you remember that your government is there for you.
Well, I was gonna say, you know, they probably could have just waited for social media to come around. And make
Exactly,
It's the new one,
exactly.
dude.
Yeah.
That's why you turn it off, man, because you can't manipulate when it's not on, man. The witches are in there. They're casting their spells to make you look and do shit that you don't even want to do. I'm watching some shit about Michael Jordan. I don't give a fuck. But it's part of it, man. It's like we don't realize how much we're being manipulated, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. I got to pat myself on the back. I called the one where Facebook there was that experiment that they did where they would like take a certain amount of people and put positive stuff in their feed.
Yeah.
And then there was another group, they put all negative stuff in it.
And which one would watch longer?
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
right.
And I honestly thought it was mostly just I don't think it wasn't 26. It wasn't the 2016 election. I don't know if it was the 2012 or the 2014 midterms, but I remember around election time there was just a whole bunch of like I call it anger bait.
Yeah.
And
Anger porn. Yeah. Anger porn. That's what
Anger
it's called.
porn.
whole bunch of anger bait in my Facebook feed, and I'm like, what the hell? Like it was, to me it was obvious. Like it literally, you might as well like just send someone to my house and say, hey man, guess what this guy's saying about you? But like it was about public figures.
It's
and I'm like,
schoolyard shit. Yeah, it's like you know over there he said he can kick your ass or your dad.
Right.
My dad could beat up your dad, and it's the same shit that gets us that fucking monkey
This-
shit in us going.
This black guy said that all white people are evil.
right. Or, you
That's
know,
not racist, right? You're not gonna get upset and make a Facebook post about this, right?
And then they go, and then when you do it, then there's some bot that comes in and says, of course it's not racist because we changed the definition of racism.
right.
You know what I mean? Right? Racism is what now? Complexion plus power or some shit. What do I know? So they changed the definitions and everything. I think it's a ploy that the right wing is going to swing back so hard. When they come back, it's going to be like fucking Babe Ruth pointing to the stands, just knock one out of the park.
What do you mean they're going to swing
So
back?
crazy.
Like they're going to fight back, or they're going to swing back?
No,
to the
I
middle?
think, like I said, I think it's WWF wrestling, bro. Like big
Oh,
time.
absolutely.
It's nothing but WWF wrestling. Right now, the Undertaker is like kicking ass.
Right.
He's going to take a big L when Hearst Helmsley comes back, and he gets a defibrillator in his heart because he's fucked up or something. But anyway, he's coming back, and he's going to be like Babe Ruth, like pointing through the stands, calling his shots. There's going to be like, I don't know, man. It's like, it's all contrived. We have to realize it.
Right.
And we're all useful idiots. Please wake
We
up.
are all
everybody.
idiots.
Please wake up. Love your neighbor. Come
So
on the
let's
door now.
look at the bright side, huh?
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, I cannot throw people away based on their ideology, right?
Well,
like,
I mean, if you kill them, you can throw them away, though, right?
I mean, I'd rather not do that because I like not being in jail. But
No, I'm just saying, like the physics of it. Like you just kind of chop them up and okay.
He's saying you physically could throw them away.
logistically, yes, that is possible. Logistically, but
I like to look at murdering people in logistic sense.
In a
Logistically,
In a
I-
UPS sense.
I completely take out the societal and emotional parts of it, and I just like to look logistically. What are we doing with our dead people?
right.
Logistically, we're storing them, and why should we store them when
Yeah,
they self-degrade?
basically, cemeteries are like a landfill of bodies.
Right. Except for all that embalming fluid, which is really bad for the soil. Like
it's really bad.
But yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. It's like everyone's. I've come to the realization most people are nice people until you start talking politics, and then we all turn into like complete assholes.
Oh yeah,
It used to be that way.
you sit at the edge of your seat waiting for, because you get the feeling when you're talking to him, you're like, yeah, this guy is kind of right wing, but he hasn't said anything right wing yet. And you just sit on the edge of your seat and you wait, and then he says, pro-abortion! Ah! And then you just lose it. You're like, you're killing women.
I
This
mean,
is-
I think the best way. The best way to kind of fight back against this division. I mean, division's big. Division's big business, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
whatever whatever your point of view is, there's a cable news station and a website out there that's going to tell you you're right, and there's a website and a cable news station out there that's going to tell you you're wrong. I don't know,
and then
man.
The guy says, "My body, my choice," and then the other guy yells at him, "I said the same thing about vaccines."
Right,
And he's like, and then I said, "Well, women have the right to choose," and I said, "Well, can you define a woman?" He goes, "No," so I'm completely lost.
Right. Well, what you do is you take the fringe and then you act like that's like the prevailing thought. But I don't know, man.
Or the fridge.
No, I'm pro fridge.
I'm hungry.
For that, I make no apologies.
I'm a whirlpool expert.
I mean, you turn everybody that you meet into that too. You turn into somebody that you're talking to them, and they're like, yeah, you know, I'm not against abortion, but you know, I don't like the fact that we're, you know, aborting like 1 million babies a year, and you turn the other person into like, you're turning the other person into that extreme, because then you just saying that you're not against it, but they turn you into like the right way. So what do you want to do, huh? You want them to just read the Bible instead of having sex? Is that what you're saying, huh? No sex until they're married? It's like, no. I want to fuck too. I mean,
It's like, then the guy goes, "Are you saying we should use abstinence?"
you don't want to do anything. Yeah, you don't want anybody to do anything until they're married, huh? You don't want them to teach sex in schools? I'm like,
Right.
no, but a 5-year-old doesn't need it. How dare you say that? Like, it turns into this insane thing. And then even if you bring out like facts and research and shit like that, it doesn't matter. They're like, sources. Where'd you get that? Where'd you get it? Source.
Are you
What's your
following the
source?
science?
I mean,
Are you following the science?
Right. Me personally, what I try to do is I try to avoid talking politics with people, but sometimes you got it, and sometimes it's
You're forced to.
Conversation. You know, when that happens, when I accidentally find myself getting into a political conversation with someone, I don't know, man. I like just normal people. Normal people are not politicians or pundits. You know, politicians and pundits, they have the word of the day, nefarious motives. Most normal people, we just want what we think is best for ourselves and everyone else.
Where do you
Yeah.
think these politicians come from?
That's
They come from this norm. They come from these normal people, or
Right.
or are politicians not elected but selected? Mike, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, they are selected to be elected, right? It's like, you know,
But I'm
I
saying,
couldn't-
like, to get in that position, how many
Right.
dicks you have to suck? How many? What is it?
right? How many
Why are
corporations
they
have to buy you off?
How many
Why are they
babies do you have to
nefarious? Why
kill?
are they nefarious, and why are we normal? Or are we all nefarious? But when you're in that position, you become more nefarious, or is it the absolute power corrupts absolutely thing? What is it exactly?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have the potential to be corrupted.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we all have our price, whether it's money,
Oh,
whether
yeah.
it's prestige.
I'll slap a baby for a tuna fish sandwich and a.
Sure. Especially if it's a cold tuna fish sandwich. But yeah, I mean, I think people on the ground. I think most people
What is
having.
it? I'm sorry, I'm a stiffler. I'm sorry, Mike. But what's people on the ground?
People
Stifler.
living in the real world. People
okay.
like you and I just having this conversation. You know, okay. You know, I think if you actually want to have a constructive political conversation and you want to fight against sort of, you know, this division, you have to assume the person you're talking to has good intention with what they believe.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
And you're right. You know, these all these, you know, political pundits and all these politicians were once normal people, and then somehow they got onto the career track where they are now. Maybe they were born into it. You know, maybe they were very shrewd and savvy. But you know, are they elected?
George Bush was shrewd and.
Born into it.
H.W. Bad, probably.
Oh, the other one. He
guy
did
who
give
got
3
him in
examples.
Freemason. Yeah.
He killed Kennedy, and they're like, you can be president someday.
Right.
He killed
Well,
Kennedy at the age of like 7.
No,
they
George
said
Bush's
whoever killed
dad.
Kennedy will one day be
Oh,
president. So.
Prescott.
Yeah, Kennedy did it himself. Kennedy said, "I want to run the presidency exactly like they used to do back in the day. You kill the king, you become the king." And it was a joke. And George Bush Sr. was sitting there, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. I want to be president." But that's not really what happened.
Hold this for me for a second.
Hey, Lee
So
Harvey.
let's get into this segment here, Barrett. What you got?
Well, we're skipping that segment. We're going to the TikTok segment now.
Damn.
What segment do we skip?
I was gonna do I have the segments that I've been trying to do, the look at the bright side, and then there's the other one, which is talk your way out of it. But we can do one. We can do one right
Tom
now.
just had me talk my way out of something. So
Exactly. It's like, here, let me tie you up, hog tie you, put you in the back of a car, figure your way out of it. So talk your way out of it, Mike. You have a meth addiction, so you steal money from your mom to support your habit.
Oh boy.
One time, while rummaging through her sock drawer, you find an object in a bag. You open the bag and discover a large butt plug and dildo. And at that moment, the lights come on, followed by what are you doing, Billy? Talk your way
Out of it.
Well, if I found that in a family member's drawer, it would be very awkward. So instead of having the conversation about the plug, I would just admit to being on meth. That's less awkward than the conversation.
It's like, I was looking for money.
Sorry, look, I don't know what this is. It's none of my business.
What a great
I got a meth addiction. Bye.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's two bad choices. I took the least bad of them, but there's no good choice there.
That's true. There's not really a good way to get out of it. All right.
It'd probably make me smoke more meth to forget.
And right, let's see where we on next. Oh, there is no more talk your way out of it because I didn't write any more talk your way out of it. I could pull up one from last week. You're Wolverine, right? So you're Wolverine,
Yep.
and because you could regen. One day you were masturbating and you got so into it you cut your dick off after you came. And your dick just grew back, so you started getting into that thing. So now you're doing that, and you just cut your dick off, and Jean Grey walks in the door. Talk your way out of it.
Well, I would think. Now wait. So Jean Grey. No, her and Cyclops had the relationship, right? They didn't have.
Right. But Wolverine, and her have like a little thing.
People know this shit.
And I'm not even that into comics. So Jean Grey walks in. I don't know. I would just look at her and say, "You ever hear a fucking knocking?" I turn it around.
With your dick in the head.
It's rude of her to not knock on the door. Who knows? It sounds like whether it's my house or my bathroom, you don't go barging into either one without knocking.
True.
So
True.
crazy that people know these people.
I was into X-Men for like 6 months when I was like in second grade. So.
Well, in school, people got big into trading the cards and shit too, like the X-Men cards.
Cards?
Yeah, trading X-Men cards, and then we had Beavis and Butthead cards.
Like Pokemans?
Yeah, like Beavis, and then Pogs, and then for a while we were into Pogs.
I'm gonna teach you how to fight.
I used to win. I wasn't into Pogs, but I used to win Pogs when I took karate. We played a game. It wasn't Simon Says. It was called Sensei Says. And I always found Simon Says to be a very easy game. Like, you literally just have to wait for the prompt. I don't know how anyone would lose at that game. So I had a bunch of bootleg Pogs I won from karate class that I didn't give a shit about.
And the one day that everybody just realized this is fucking dumb.
Right.
Like you were...
Tornado slammer.
Yeah, you were into it so much, you're like, oh man, that's like a special, I've never seen one of those before, blah. Like, all in that shit, and then one day you're like, these are probably like from printing companies, like the extra pieces that are left over, that somebody decided to trick people into wanting. It was the same thing with like Beanie Babies too, where everybody was like, oh my god, this one's got the mint tag on it, and there's only 100 of them, and
Babies.
Right.
And then
Jeez.
one day they're like, it's a fucking small stuffed animal.
Right.
That's it.
And let's be honest, they lost their value as soon as everyone's dog started humping them.
Right?
Yeah. No one's going to buy those.
Like, oh, never mind. But people were paying like a shitload of money for these Beanie Babies, man. It was fucking insane. They were spending thousands of dollars for a fucking stuffed animal.
And you want me to have hope for humanity, dude. I mean, look at everything. Like, Jesus Christ. People used to buy. Remember those jelly shoes that people used to buy? They were like jelly.
Oh yeah.
Remember the knockers and the Batman shorts and all this bullshit? It's all the same thing nowadays. Now it's fucking anal beads or something. Who knows?
Remember when everyone would get Tamagotchis and just discipline them till they were dead?
Yeah.
Tamagotchi. Remember the Gigapets?
Yeah, it was like, I think those were similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah. I think they're the same thing, different brand names.
Yeah, people were. You got one, and then you really took care of it for like a day, and then after that, you're like, I want to watch this fucking thing die in front of me. Like, I want to watch somebody die.
Right. As children, man, human nature is dark.
Well, the reason why that went away is because then people started using the internet more, and you can literally watch somebody die. I'm sure everybody saw that video of the Russian soldier that gets his fucking head sawed off. Did somebody send that to you?
I can't watch those, man. Like,
I was too busy playing baseball or something.
The animals have enough water.
Faces of Death.
Everybody's.
That's funny nowadays. You watch Faces of Death now and you're gonna laugh.
Everybody had to have seen that fucking video, and I know that like most people have seen it because I used to, with one of my friends, I used to fuck with him and come walking in, and he'd be like, "What's up?" and I'd go, "Ah."
That was your impression?
Of the guy getting and he would say, fucking stop it. And I said, everybody's seen that video. I'm like, you don't even have to say anything. You just gotta walk up to somebody and go, ah, and they know exactly what you're talking about, and it'll fuck their brain up. But
No, me either.
oh my god,
Two girls, one cup. I couldn't make it past. As soon as they shit in the fucking cup,
Right.
right there, I stopped.
I almost threw up. I knew a dude.
I was like, I'm good.
there's
I knew a dude who watched it and like drank a chocolate milkshake just to show his dominance over the internet.
Everything was like that, man.
Yeah,
Jesus.
man.
Don't fucking show me this shit, Barry. I will not watch it.
no, I'm not showing it, but there's a
Keep my heart pure, goddammit.
there's a website called Run the Gauntlet.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Where
cut that part.
where you start and it shows you like a fucked up video, and then it progressively gets worse.
Don't
And
watch it, people.
the thing about that is there's a curiosity that people have, right, to want to see stuff like that, but you don't realize that it's how much it desensitizes you. And for a while, like, I realized that I had gotten very desensitized. I saw the video. They're called like the maniacs. They're the Ukrainian dudes that they started filming themselves killing people,
Jesus.
like hammering a dude to death with a fucking hammer. And that was on the video, and I realized once I got into that point when I saw that video, and it was fucked up to me still, but I was just like, why the fuck am I how am I watching this right now? This is a human being getting fucking hammered to death.
It's the fucking. I'm telling you guys, it's
And-
dark art magic, man. You fucking don't understand.
Yeah.
It's everything. This TikTok stuff we're gonna probably go through or not. Like, all this stuff is the dark arts, man. It's fucking. It's meant to be obscure and to make us into a state of mind to lower our frequencies that we can't even look at the sunset and be happy anymore.
You know
Yeah.
where I actually first heard the word desensitized? Chris unlocked a memory for me. It was actually from
Achievement
Chris.
unlocked.
Chris, the day of 9/11.
Me?
9/11 happened. You know, we were in high school.
Wow. I was
I
in
was-
the army.
What's that?
I was in where the hell was I? I was in what's that place in California, Chris, that you go and train? The Death Valley where you train for the desert fighting.
I don't know. I didn't go there. Didn't
Anyway,
see me
that's
there.
where I was at. I was in the middle of the California desert.
Dude, what was it like being like an active service military person on 9/11? Were you guys just looking at us there like, oh shit?
Well, see, all of our shit was on the train because I was coming from Fort Riley, Kansas to Fort Barstow. Yeah, Fort Barstow in California. And they were like, "Yeah, we could be the first ones to go because our shit's already packed."
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
That's nuts. Yeah. And I remember, Chris, I don't know if you remember, we had the news on for about 2 days straight, just watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I think I vividly remember the classroom, and you said something about how watching this over and over was going to desensitize us.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I heard. It's funny you bring that up because that's the first time I heard that. And that day,
fucking genius.
Well, that day I was hearing a lot of concepts for the first time that I hadn't heard, like, America's fucked a lot of things up, on the world stage.
Yeah.
It's the first time I ever heard the name Osama bin Laden.
Oh, yeah.
First time I heard someone talking about watching, terrible imagery over and over being desensitizing.
I knew about it because I was desensitized already at the moment.
What were you watching? Too many fucking Care Bears videos or
Too
something?
much Consumption Junction.
Yeah. No, but they had what the fuck was that website? Steakandcheese.com.
Or
Rotten.com. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that shit like that. That just really.
For me, it was the one that got me was the Nick Berg fucking beheading. And when I seen that, I was like, I don't need to watch any more of this stuff.
I mean, I got to tell you, I didn't even watch the Saddam Hussein video because I'm like, I don't want to get used to watching people. I mean, if there was one person that, you probably wouldn't mind seeing
Get killed.
I just can't get into watching videos of people dying, no matter how evil they are.
Yeah, to me, I think watching somebody getting their arm broken is worse than some of the videos. Like some of the videos you watch it, you're like, that's not as bad, But you watch
the video where
like somebody arm wrestling and their fucking arm goes like that. To me, gets me
or the UFC
more.
fighters where they kick them in the shin, their fucking shin.
Yeah. I can't watch that shit. I can't watch that. Like somebody falling off of a building,
or Joe Theismann when fucking fucking Lawrence Taylor hit him and fucking destroyed his life.
So here we're gonna learn how to fight against witchcraft.
I'm going to teach you how to fight against witchcraft attacks with the authority that Jesus Christ gave us. So first of all, some basic signs that you're under a witchcraft attack are usually depression, anxiety, hearing voices in your head, confusion. Basically anything that's negative is usually an attack by witchcraft. So when witches are usually
Nobody's said anything about fucking how hairy this guy is yet.
Projecting, where their spirit is outside of their body, and the only thing that's holding their spirit and their physical body together is what's called the silver cord. As you can see here, there's tons of videos that witches have made about it. In the Bible, in Ecclesiastes 12:6, it actually talks about our spirit being connected to our body with the silver cord. When you recognize that you're under a spiritual witchcraft attack, you simply say, I cut the silver cord in the name of Jesus and rebuke every witchcraft attack on my life. This will...
This guy's doing this with a wife beater on.
What? I didn't, I think I said before, I don't really even watch a lot of these. I just pick something and I'm like, oh, this will be probably funny. What?
I mean, here's the thing. A lot of times, I'm sure there are forces out there that we cannot see and cannot explain.
Okay.
But I don't think that every bout of depression or anxiety is a result of witchcraft. I think it's just the result of things being fucking terrible.
Or you making horrible decisions in your life and you're now reaping the, what you sowed.
The karma. Yeah.
It's kind of a lack of accountability. Hey, sorry I'm such a fuck up. I'm under an attack by witches.
It's a lot of people who go to prison too. Like they'll fucking kill 17 kids and then go in there and find Jesus. They're like, oh, it was the devil, man. It's kind of the same thing.
Right.
There was a story I read about a guy who was homosexual, and he had killed somebody, and he went to prison, and then he had a homosexual relationship in prison, and then he found God, and murdered the homosexual man that he was having sex with in prison. and he said that his biggest regret out of it was that killing that guy while he was a homosexual sent him to hell, and he felt bad for sending the guy to hell. Can you imagine the levels of fucking insanity that you had to go through and fucking mental gymnastics to get to the point where you're like, oh yeah, I feel really bad about it, you know, because he's in hell now. Like, he was your boyfriend.
Hell too.
Right.
And you murdered him.
Guys to him in person.
You'll get the chance. You get a chance for murdering him.
Here's the other thing. You know, I've never dabbled in witchcraft, but I would imagine putting a spell or a hex on somebody is a lot of effort, right?
Yeah.
Not really.
And you hear, oh, okay. My point was, you know, you're probably not important enough to a witch for her to actually spend her time and energy actually putting a hex on you.
Exactly. You're just some random dude.
What you're lacking to understand is that it's interdimensional, and in the other dimensions there's higher levels of power. And when it bleeds into this one, it's really easy. It's like flicking a booger.
Well,
I'm just trying to clarify.
I stand corrected. There goes my theory.
And by the way, this is a real I stand corrected. This is a real. Do not. I don't know what the word is right now. I can't think of it. All points bulletin, but another one. Do not fuck with Ouija boards, ladies and gentlemen. That is some real shit. That is some real shit.
That is one of my steadfast rules. Like,
do not.
I do not. I don't want to touch a Ouija board.
I did though. That's the problem.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you face some consequences.
No, I don't. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I don't realize it.
Yeah, look at your head. Look at the shape that your head grew into.
Look at my company.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Look who your friends
are. Ouija board. You meet us.
Yeah, I fucking some Satan. I should be having a good time right now. I could be fishing in the beautiful Mexican sunshine, but I'm in this fucking cafe talking to you cunts.
You touched the Ouija board, and you live in paradise. However, you're living in paradise, but you're podcasting with two losers from their basement.
I'm talking to a fat character from Resident Evil 4.
I'm the exact opposite of that. A guy told me at work one time that there's a 6th and 7th book of Moses that is not in the Bible, and that if you own it at your house, it'll cause a lot of bad things to happen to you. And
that's why it's only $10.99
online
at Target.com.
Okay.
Exactly.
Barnes and Noble.
You go online and you can find it on Amazon. And immediately the same day I went home and I bought the book online.
How things been?
And I bought it and I brought it home. Well, it came home and then I looked through it and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's a bunch of like witchcraft shit, but it's not witchcraft. It's like creating a protection seal and stuff like that. A bunch of magic shit that they probably didn't want to have in the Bible because they're like, yeah, people might get the wrong idea about the Bible.
I would have been lost because I haven't read the first 5 books of Moses yet. So
yeah, it's like starting Harry Potter, you know, and like the 5th book.
You beat me to it.
Or like watching, starting the Marvel multiverse with, Hulk 2.
I haven't watched all of those either.
No, I'm not going to. It's too much effort.
There's so much shit.
Iron Man, does that count? I've seen Iron Man 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, it was not the first one. The first one was Blade. The first one was Blade.
Could you pop up my video? I want you to laugh, dude, because I know you haven't seen it.
Which video are you?
The one you said. I said don't watch it if you can, so we can use it for the podcast. It's completely.
Oh, I have it in here.
See that.
Is it a TikTok one or is it the?
No, it's not TikTok. It's a YouTube.
Is it the Marine one?
Yes. It is killing me. So this guy is like, it's people who steal people's packages.
Yes.
From
all right. I have not watched this. I have not watched this.
No.
Hilarious.
I can't see it.
Oh, you can't see it?
Yeah,
No.
we're seeing your Google Doc and
We're
talking.
seeing yeah, we don't see it, bro.
Why is the Google Doc on there?
I don't know.
Okay, go back.
They can't. They're not allowed to see my Google Doc. God damn it. Don't tell me it was Google Doc the entire time and I've just ruined
No,
everything.
we saw the.
Okay, people who steal packages.
Package
from
with
Amazon.
flashbang.
What's your bitch ass shit? Hoe ass nigga. I knew you been stealing my shit. Broke ass
Watch,
nigga.
watch.
Yeah. Broke ass nigga. That's what your bitch ass get.
Watch what he does.
And the laws on the way.
Fuck shit on my shot.
Hey.
I wasn't trying to
What
steal
you
it.
want, nigga?
He crapped himself.
Bitch, what you call me, nigga? Yeah,
Pause
on
it.
the way.
I went
Laws
out
on the way,
now.
nigga.
I'm from next
Ass
door.
off
I'm
with your
from next
bitch
door.
ass
I
nigga.
wasn't trying to steal no package, bro. Damn.
What you call it then,
What was
nigga?
in that bitch? Cell phone?
Nah, bitch ass nigga. Booby trap, nnigga. Ex-military, nigga. Marine Corps, nigga.
Damn.
Bitch ass nigga. Sit
Get
your bitch
ambulance,
ass down.
too.
Wait for the law, nigga.
I'm just, hey.
Should've killed your
Nah,
motherfucker.
my bad. I'm gonna bring that package back.
Nah, fuck all that, nigga. Laws on their way, and I'm on the way from work, bitch.
He reached in his
Ex-Marine rigs
underwear.
packed with
He reached in his
flashbang.
underwear and goes,
Who
"Oh,
does?
man, I
Who the
shit
fuck?
myself."
Who the fuck does that? Though? That's. Who the fuck
so
shits
funny.
themselves and then immediately sticks their hand down their pants and smells it, like it might have been
back?
something else that came out of your ass.
Or maybe he wasn't sure. You know, maybe it might have just been a fart.
It might have been
and
sweat.
wanted to make sure. Yeah.
That's who the hell checks their. Who the hell farts?
I guess
I'm your neighbor.
if that guy really is from next door, I guess it's a good thing because he can change his pants before the cops come.
Like, hold up! I gotta change my pants before they get me.
Right. I mean, I know I don't want to be in the. I wouldn't want to be in the clink with a load in my pants. Though it might keep people away from you, so I don't know.
True. People are, or somebody might look at it and be like,
teacher's aide?
lubrication.
It's true. It's a wild card.
Using the blood as lubrication. Okay.
You the teacher's aide? No, I'm the teacher.
I saw this video on Pornhub, and this is exactly how it starts.
How refreshing. You can work in a Pocahontas joke to hit the trifecta.
Now you mention it.
What's your name?
Trent.
Can you tell me the definition of power, Trent? It's the ability to direct or influence another's behavior or course of events. That's what I have. I can remove you from this class and fail you, or I can send you before the dean for violating the student code of conduct. These are all things that can alter the course of your life. That's power.
Strong women! Get
Feel
them!
like that, Trent?
I
You
don't
ever
know.
feel like making someone do what you want, whether they want to or not?
I don't know. I would still be turned on at this point. I would probably be more turned on.
I'm still not sure where this is going.
Like,
I felt like I did, but I don't know.
she takes the glasses off. She's like, "Do you know somebody? Have you ever tried to influence your power on somebody?"
Look, he's an asshole. He doesn't deserve a woman like this.
He's like, "Hey, yo, check out this lady with the two boobies, okay, guys?" She's like,
Look at this.
"You know what power is?"
Drive.
And the definition of power depends on where you work. If you're down at the dam, you're like, well, it's, electrons.
Right.
The
It's
water.
like we're generating for the tri-state area.
Like, I don't know how electricity is generated.
You know, one time I was in a college class, and the professor held up a picture of a guitar.
Stop bragging.
I was lost. I was lost on my way to my parole hearing.
Okay.
He holds up a picture of a guitar. And he goes, "What's this?" And we say, "A guitar." He goes,
Guitar.
"Yes, but where does its guitarness come from?" The fact that it's a guitar is where its guitarness comes. Where is this going? Can we leave?
Where did it go? What happened to it?
I feel
Apparently,
like
so you failed the class, you're saying.
I feel like it was just that, like all semester, just asking. It's like a child going, "Why?
What's this? Is a can. What makes it a can?
It's what you can do and what you can't do.
Like the fucking what is it? The Dead Poets Society type thing, where you have to try to find meaning in absolutely nothing and make it seem like it's so fucking mind blowing every time. Like, ooh man, it's like I remember I went through that phase too, where, oh man, everything's like the world's a tree, and you know, some people are on different branches, and it's like, who cares?
Like American, what was it, American something or other with the bag blowing around, American Beauty.
Oh, American Beauty, yeah.
With the
You have
bag
to find the beauty in the smallest things
dancing for it,
in life. It's like, shut the fuck up. You don't have any. You just didn't have a good idea, so you just picked something, and you're like, look how deep this is.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you may think that's just a bag, but it's American Beauty.
American Beauty. I'm gonna fuck a teenager, and then later on, we find out later he actually was fucking dudes, teenage dudes, and now you can't watch any movies without thinking of him fucking like 15-year-old dudes.
Right.
Especially Seven. He's like, there's no fingerprints in here. Why? Because I'm fucking teenage dudes.
And that movie was the darling of award season that year.
Let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman was fucking like,
Excuse
talking
me?
over it while he was doing
Miss
Long.
Miss Long, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I was just.
I know what you were doing.
I'm sorry.
Insult me or anyone else in my class and you're out. Apology accepted.
Thank you.
Oh, that's all you gotta do.
I guess. It says part 1. What happens with part 2? Does he go back and like try it again? I mean,
No, in part 2, she like falls down a well or something with acid in it and gets really ugly, and then he comes back and it's like it's normal again.
right,
He's like, oh, okay, she's the teacher.
right. Everyone's cool with it because she's not attractive. So who
Right.
cares?
Yeah, or he does other typical white man shit, and then he kills himself, and
He
then
man spreads.
he walks into class, he spreads, and he's like, so yeah, what's up with these minorities?
This lady's shoes.
Oh yeah, then they have the typical like buddy football players in the background, like, oh yeah, fuck Gunner, and there's a kid in class like, I feel so uncomfortable. Somebody come and save me. It's like, you need it.
Then he gets a job at his dad's financial firm and then dies of a coke heart attack.
And everybody's sad.
It's a good-
500
sounds
people
like a
come to
great
his
movie.
funeral.
Yeah.
It's called American Pie.
It's the sequel to American Beauty.
That shit, I don't know. They need to come up with some better ideas. I don't think they're really winning over people to fight against racism with that video. I'm pretty sure that the people that are watching it, one side goes, yeah, strong women! And the other side goes, this bullshit, man, fucking,
No, it's on TikTok, so no one's watching it because they didn't get to the point within the first 2 seconds.
Right, they looked at it for a few seconds and they hit like for no reason and they moved on. This I put on here because it's a Target video, and I'm like,
This is witchcraft.
like how do you think it was intentional that her tits like almost falling out?
God,
There's no nipples, so it's legal.
Look at this thing.
But
I'm not even looking at it. Too.
So this is the code. Oh my God.
but like seriously, like do you think it was intentional, or do you think they saw it later and they're like, I don't know, man, maybe we should reshoot it? And they're like, keep the tit.
Oh my God. Do you see that
We know what the people want.
We know what the people want.
Look at this.
They're all suffering from the Oedipus complex. Sigmund Freud.
So this
I don't
is the
know. I don't think we have to watch the rest of
for
it.
you, Francisco.
It's just some, people, rich people opening gifts that people like to watch. Like, watch me open these expensive toys.
They're like, look, I'm related.
Ah, stop it!
Oh, what's this?
They autoplay and it pisses me
This
off.
looks dope. This guy got against Detroit.
When I saw this, I thought there was going to be a bigger meaning, but nope.
Also, I like how the comment is just Detroit. Like, no context.
Just, fuck Detroit! Fuck him!
Right.
Fuck Detroit! Fuck the... There's the moon clap, and then there's a black hole.
as someone who lives in Detroit who does not want to die that way, I will not be following that guy on TikTok.
You know the great thing about living on the Yucatan Peninsula is that
I've often wondered the best part about living
the
on
best part about it is you know that the dinosaur extinction started like maybe 100 miles from me. There's no way that's happened. Lightning does not strike twice in the same spot here, my friend.
Right.
You guys are fucked.
We are fucked. Yeah, we're fucked like 2 minutes before you are, pretty much.
Yeah, that's true. Right. We'll just die first.
Dude, no. I got plans.
It's gonna rock. No, it's gonna rock the entire planet. So not only will your eardrums explode,
it's China, bro. I mean,
your eardrums are gonna explode from the impact, and it's gonna be an earthquake everywhere.
Not if I wear earplugs.
You get to be alive and suffering while you die.
I got the shooter range things. I'm good, man.
You get to realize all your loved ones are dead for 2 minutes before you die. You do make a point, Tom, because normally I don't like international crossing bridges. Like I don't like the Ambassador Bridge. I don't like the Mackinac Bridge, even though that's not like international.
What is this?
I don't like
is this some Michigan shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't like big, tall bridges over bodies of water. You know, and so. What if you put bodies in the bodies of water?
What's that?
What if you put bodies in the bodies of water?
Even more terrifying.
Okay.
So I had to cross over. It's called the Blue Water Bridge in Port Huron, and it's a really tall bridge that goes.
It's in the north.
What's that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it in the north?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. I'm sorry. I forgot you're not from here.
It's north of us.
Right. But it's just a very tall bridge over a river, and it's very narrow, and you can see like the water below you. And one day I had to cross it, and the day before on the news there was a terrible story about a bridge collapsing in, I think, Minnesota in the middle of rush hour traffic.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yes, I remember that. That's something I remember. Yeah.
And I wasn't nervous crossing the bridge because I'm like, okay, well, we're not due for another bridge disaster for a while. So.
Oh, okay, there you go. Good way to wrap that up.
That was my point.
How long is that bridge? How long is that bridge?
I don't know. I'd have to Google it.
Because we have a big one in Maryland. So I'm from Maryland.
Okay.
And we have the Bay Bridge. The Bay Bridge that goes over.
Oh yeah,
that's a big one.
Yeah, I think I had to cross that bridge once. I didn't like it.
Oh, you've been to Maryland?
I think so. Virginia Beach. I don't know. It was a long bridge on the east coast. I didn't care for it. I was 9.
I was 9. All right.
This is what I put on here because I just thought it was fucking.
Video. I wish I would've, but my son just thumb punched that by himself with his thumb.
Is this powder?
It's a Mountain Dew, by the way.
It's a Mountain Dew, by the way.
Shotgun that for them. I wish I'd have got that on video. He thumb punched that, bro. I love it. That's my man right there, bro.
He's shotgunning Mountain Dew.
Yes.
That's.
At least this guy knows that kid is his. I mean, Jesus.
Oh, you can't look at that. You can't look at that boy face and say he not mine. I'm so proud of him. He just shotgun him for Mountain Dew. Well, wait till he 14-year-old. He get shotgun them beers. I'm so proud of that boy.
I mean, look at my huge eyebrow ridges. You can tell that he's mine.
The thing about my son is his mother is also his aunt.
I just thought this was insane. That this dude was so fucking proud of his son shotgunning a fucking Mountain Dew. Like that's his aspiration for his children. Like me, I'm like, oh man, it would be so cool if my daughter became like a lawyer because she's really good at like formulating arguments, even though she's like 10, and she's musical. She picked up a guitar, and the way she held it, I immediately knew, like, she's got, like, this talent for it, and she can sing, she can fucking hit notes, like, she's doing shit that, like, people can't do as an adult already as a kid. I have all these aspirations. This guy's like, hey, I'm so proud. I saw my son, he put his thumb in that Mountain Dew. He shotgun that. Oh, man, I gotta get you a bong. You can just bong that Mountain Dew. I'm not a bad parent. I'm not a bad parent.
Right now.
It's a Mountain Dew. What's the big problem? It ain't no beer. Why are you guys getting all mad at me?
I mean, I've never shotgunned anything. The only maybe I've shotgunned a shotgun, but I've never fucking. You know what I mean? Like, what do you? Okay, you poke a hole in the top. Or how does that work?
Yeah, you poke a hole in the bottom of it, and then you open it so you get airflow, and then you drink it that way, and it makes it so the liquid comes out faster. The fact it's Mountain Dew, even if it's Mountain Dew, I'm like, why the fuck are you giving your 9-year-old Mountain Dew?
Right.
It's like poison. You're like you're proud of poisoning your fucking son and teaching him to become an alcoholic at age 9.
Yeah, he's gonna like wipe his ass with all that green shit in the toilet.
Like, Daddy, my poop is red and green again.
I think he's proud of him.
Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I think he's proud of him, like putting his thumb through the can and then shotgunning it as his reward.
My son, you know, my family, we've always been proud about how strong our thumbs are, and
I can't believe we have opposable ones.
You can tell he's my son. We look at the way he put that thumb right through that Mountain Dew, which reminds me of that one video.
Strong thumb stock, son.
We watched last time, but we can watch it again.
You should see us play Nintendo.
You should see the way that boy play Nintendo.
You ain't gonna beat that boy in a thumb war. He rip your thumb clean off, and then he gonna shotgun your blood.
It reminds me of this one, which we watched last time, but we can watch it again because it's so fucking good.
It's beautiful. This is art.
Shit, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? Our daddy taught us not to be ashamed of our dicks, especially since they're such good size and all. Yeah, I see that. Your daddy
It looks like a
gave good
retarded
advice.
Rogan.
It gets bigger when I pull on it.
That looks like a deformed Chris Daughtry.
Look at it. It's
Sometimes
Rogan's brother.
I'm pulling it so hard,
Bro Rogan.
I rip the skin.
Rogan.
My daddy taught me a few things too, like how not to rip the skin by using someone else's mouth instead of your own hands.
Will you show me?
I'd be right happy to.
I like somehow with this fucking podcast that I always find a way to come back to the same shit over and over. Like the last podcast, I think it was ripping the skin. I'm like, ripping the skin? That reminds me of this video. Now it's like, Dad being proud of something. Oh, he's proud of how big his dick is.
And there was the woman with no teeth. You kept doing that.
Gum jobs, yes.
You always find a way.
Find a way to bring it back to gum jobs.
Right.
My neighbor, my meth addict neighbor across the street from me in the trailer park, and every time I talked to her, I kept thinking like, it would be nasty, but I bet you that blowjob with no teeth is amazing. It's so fucked up, but yeah.
There's a lot of probably a lot of consequences that come with that.
Definitely a lot of consequences that came with that, but I said it in past. I said it past tense like it happened already. There were definitely a lot of consequences that came with that.
Let me tell you. We have another 2 hours. I'm going to go through all of them.
This is the last TikTok video that I got ready, but what was I gonna say? There's a long-standing joke that's not really a joke. That a friend keeps bringing up that pisses another friend off. Where I was joking around with his mom, and I told everybody, I'm like, but I'm gonna fuck his mom. I'm really gonna fuck his mom. So I was like dancing with her at the club. Like I'm like, you like that, don't you? You want to get a little piece of this young guy, blah blah blah. I ended up spending the night at his house, and his mom was there. And before we went to bed, as a joke, I was like, I'm gonna leave the door open just in case you get a little hungry for a midnight snack. And to this day, my one friend's like, you fucked his mom that night. I'm like, no, it was just a joke. And my friend, apparently, he was really upset about it. Like, he really thought I had sex with his mom. So, that's another thing that keeps coming back. But anyway, let's watch this video.
That guy doesn't trust his mom.
Or his friend of a long time, would not... Anyway, she wasn't even that hot. I mean, it was her fault, too. She used to, like, when we were younger, she used to come out...
You have a bipolar disorder, which is very interesting, right? and I have a bipolar relationship with your personality. It's like there's a part of me who knows you're just the sweetest dude who's just trying to find his way through life. But there's another part of me that really believes that you probably did bang.
I see Chris.
I don't know.
I see Chris like an R-rated movie. You know? Like he's a good family man.
Yeah, he's like on a campground, you know.
Right. He's a good family man, and everything he says is just like it's like a stand-up special. Like, okay, these guys don't really think that, but he's saying it for a reaction. It's like Wes Craven. Wes Craven is this very intellectual, genteel man. But then he also came up with this concept about teenagers being murdered in their sleep by
Right. Yes.
Wes Craven would never really murder a teenager in his sleep, but he's thought of the concept and he's hashed it out.
He spent hours thinking about it. He spent hours pondering the best ways to murder teenagers in their sleep.
Right.
But he's a good guy.
Other than that, parts of a man.
Who's the guy who created the light bulb again? Edison. You're like Edison, dude.
Edison's the opposite of that.
Please listen. Please. Let me go. You're like Edison. You made this light bulb and everyone's like, wow. But you also electrocuted an elephant in the middle of New York to show that Tesla was fucking full of shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're a great man, but an asshole, you know?
You're like Henry Ford. Put the world on wheels. Revolutionized our lives, came up with the 5-day work week, work-life balance, but you're also a flaming racist.
Yes.
Who knew that the Model A stood for asshole, you know?
Model A stood for Aryan.
Thank you. Thank you for the way you've revolutionized our lives, but you could keep that racism. No one wants that to be exported.
Yeah, what's crazy is I literally just was talking about this yesterday with somebody. I posted, they were talking about Henry Ford, and I said, he wrote a book called The International Jew, and because of the book that he wrote, Hitler actually mentioned him in Mein Kampf. In Hitler's book. He mentioned Henry Ford in Mein Kampf. And not only that, Hitler gave him the highest award that he can bestow on a foreigner to Henry Ford for his book, The International Jew. So not only that, and Henry Ford was proud of that award.
Right. Of course he was.
But 5-day work week, I love driving Mustangs. Dude. I do it every time I go to Greenfield Village. Like when they're doing their little displays and they're like, yeah, so this is how the printing press used to work, and I'm like, hey, is this the room where he wrote that anti-Semitic book, The International Jew? Right. I say it to the people and they're like, and then everybody around me is like, I'm like, I'm secretly hoping they go home and they fucking look it up and they go, holy shit!
I just enlightened your ass.
Holy shit! I love Henry Ford. Not anymore, or maybe they love him even more. Who knows?
I was gonna say, yeah.
I love Henry Ford now.
No, it was supposed to go the opposite way, sir.
It's like, no, I was trying to make you realize how fucked up he was.
That's why. Wait a minute, it makes more sense now. That's why Henry Ford created the fenders on cars so he can hit more minorities. I get it.
Wow.
Damaging the chassis.
You don't want to damage the vehicle.
Right. He made them out of hemp too, didn't
he? The previous model, you can only hit 3 gypsies with your car before it broke it. With this new fender that we put in, we put the numbers at least 200 to 250 gypsies before.
Before you have to go and fucking wax it.
Yeah. So Mike's getting is lunch done?
No. My wife didn't know I was going to be podcasting for almost 3 hours. So.
Oh yeah. We got our this is our last video, and then we're gonna say goodbye to everybody.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm having blood. No, she dropped the dog off. And then she's going back out. So.
Okay. So Trudy's running around down there.
Yeah, you'll probably start hearing her whine because no one's up there with her. But
nobody's giving me attention.
Right.
Those dogs. that just unconditionally love you, even though you're secretively an evil person.
Right, but I got to tell you, if the dog says I gotta pull the plug on this podcast, I gotta listen to the dog.
The dog controls you.
Yeah.
All right, the last video. A guy I've been friends with for years asking me if I want to smoke with him and tell me I can go first. Then puts it away without smoking.
That's the old okey doke.
So my main thing about these are, I'm not sure why you want to let everybody know on the internet to get likes on the internet that you basically was date raped, but it seems to be a trend.
I just thought it meant that he said she could have some of his weed and he said no. I didn't know that's what the end was.
Well,
the blackout thing.
Yeah, he's obviously something was in it. That's why he didn't want to smoke it. See?
Oh, I thought that was just her being mad that she didn't get any weed.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
but she went first.
She's mad that he didn't smoke.
So sweet and innocent. We really are.
Maybe I've looked into it a little too far. Maybe I'm just assuming that everybody's out there. They're just trying to shed light to their most horrible things.
She wants to get high, and
That's what I thought. I thought it was like oh man, I was really looking forward to hitting that blunt and put it away.
Right. Okay. Damn, dude. I guess me and Mike are nice, and Barrett's evil.
Yeah. You know what? I prefer my ending though. I prefer our ending to Chris's.
I do too. Obviously, I don't. Well, the thing is like, it has this weird trend of
the show is democratic. You know.
There's a weird trend of people like they're experiencing their emotions through the internet for likes, and the thing I bitch about all the time is like, why do you want to sell yourself short or sell your soul or sell like that memory of something for the internet? And then they have music playing and they're dancing. I've seen ones where they're dancing. The lady's like doing this thing, and it's like, my son killed himself. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a way of them coping. I don't know. I mean, there are some responsibly done TikTok videos where people talk about their trauma and how they work through it. But yeah, I mean, if that's what's going on here, she's obviously making light of the situation, which I'm not sure is helping anybody.
True, it's not really in an effective way, and I don't know. It's just a weird thing that I think it's starting to trend towards too, and it might just be because I'm old and I don't understand it. I don't understand like selling your trauma for likes on the internet, but I love how the last video is always something that's not funny to leave it off with, too.
No,
I guess
you're a wonderful, beautiful person. Okay, Lord Salazar, look it up. Resident Evil 4. That's exactly. You look like a fat, pudgy Salazar.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I love you. You know that.
So, Mike, you what else you got going? So you're still doing the Whatever Dave podcast, and you're
doing the Whatever Dave. That's weekly. I'm doing the Pod Suey. That's weekly. It's all on thegreatvoice.com. And speaking of TikToks, I do them semi-professionally. I say semi-professionally because I do them for work, but I'm not making any extra money, nor people are not watching them. But you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at WJR Off Air. Supposed to be like a slice of life behind the scenes of an AM radio station.
Yeah, it's they're funny. Like I see them, and the problem with TikTok is you can't make it too professional because then people won't like it. It has to look like some low budget thing that you did.
Right. Well, and I can't make them to look too professional because I don't know how, and I don't have to be good at it. But it's
Speaking
weird,
of,
man.
Why don't you guys also come over to Tom Franklin Art if you want to see unprofessionalism?
Is that on Instagram and or TikTok?
No, it's on
YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And we can hear you on the radio sometimes too. That I was starting to talk about that before. I was driving home one day and I was listening to it and I heard your voice and I'm like, is that fucking Mike right now? Like, I knew you worked there, but I'm like, so he's on the air too? Oh, like, and
it's very sporadic. You know, I run the mixing console. I'm the sound guy, and yeah, it depends. Some days, some days I'm on a lot. Other days I'm not on at all. Normally, if you hear me on, it's because we don't have calls and we need to get through the segment. So I was put on the radio because it was a slow day and I was there. That's how I got there.
well, like your voice, like through the microphone and everything, definitely sounds like an interesting like radio type voice. I don't know. Did you have to work on that or?
Actually, yes. Yeah, it's the thing is, I know everyone has a radio voice, but everyone with a radio voice, nobody would tell me how they got their radio voice. So, like when I first started, when I first started, it was like this, and then I'm like, oh, I need more of a radio voice. So then I got like real pukey with it, and then I just kind of like just developed it. I'm like, it needs to be my voice, but like a little better. So I don't know.
It has to be your voice, but better.
Right.
Like enunciating your words when you're talking.
Right, which I'm still working on. I don't know. I guess it's just me. Like it's just me projecting a little bit more. That's kind of where I've found because yeah, like people's normal voice doesn't sound like that. You kind of have to. I would imagine it's probably like being an actor, or probably like you guys probably had to do the same thing with stand-up, like
yeah. When you talk, you have to talk a little bit more forceful, like so you can
I
hear.
never had a problem with projecting my voice.
Well, it's because you're like.
I used to be a metal singer, dude.
You're almost like a deaf person, Tom. Like,
no, I'm more of a mush mouth than I am a fucking person that's
a mush mouth.
Mush mouth, like I kind of stumble over my words and things like that.
But the volume of your voice.
That's weird. It's a radio voice because you used to have the 50s radio voice. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Today,
dry up, will ya?
Yeah, those are those, and then you have the Then you have the morning zoo personalities and
right.
Those are,
yeah.
Those are weird.
I guess I just call it my voice, but a little better. I don't know.
I can definitely tell. Like when you first talking, I was like, okay, he definitely has he's doing radio. I can hear it immediately, and it's weird because if I were to talk like that, it wouldn't sound. I don't know. I would feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that you are, but I would feel like an idiot.
You should feel
right.
like an
idiot.
It's weird.
It's weird
because there's a lot of years of of awkwardly trying to find it. That
right.
And really you can only find it through like listening and being like, oh, that sounds like shit. I need to try.
You hear them trailing off and hear
right.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trial and error and a lot of being able to self-criticize yourself and then working upon that. So, but it sounds great. I mean, you're really good at like holding a conversation. You're really good at like putting a line through, skipping off, and coming back. That means you definitely are doing this quite a bit. Me and Bear to kind of like,
I don't know. I mean, obviously, you guys know what you're doing. I mean, we've been doing this for 2 hours and 46 minutes, and it doesn't feel like it. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you guys do 3 hours a pop. Like the actual amount of time that there's actually talking during like a talk radio show in an hour. It's 37 minutes. So if you do 37 minutes, with news, traffic, weather, commercials, 37 minutes is an hour on the radio. So if you guys are doing like 3 hours, 37, this is essentially 6 hours of actual radio here.
Like an entire day. Like you do this an entire day.
To break down the show, essentially what this is Barrett's like circus of chaos and me following him down the rabbit hole.
Me dragging you along with
and I'm just throwing like left jabs and right jabs trying to like hold on to my reality. And it's really easy actually because Barrett's really good at being himself.
Right.
So it's that's why it's called PokeyTalkTime and not the Tom and Barrett show or whatever, which is great. So it's not that hard for me.
I think your name needs to be in the show somewhere.
No, they'll find me. Trust me, I'm a good artist.
Well, awesome. So I'll probably hear you again on the radio, and I really appreciate you jumping in here. And
Thanks for having me on, guys. This was a blast.
well, I knew it was going to be good. I knew it was going to be good, just from some conversations we've had before in the past and everything. And hopefully, it's nothing that's going to get any of us fired from our jobs. No, I don't think we went too crazy today.
You guys might get fired. I'm retired.
Wow, that sounds nice.
Yeah. He's basically renting his house in Germany and living off the money from the rent too, which is pretty awesome.
Thanks, Barrett.
But yeah,
you can cut that out, please. Seriously.
Oh, seriously? Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you didn't want people to know that.
No, I don't want anyone knowing that.
No, I didn't hear a thing.
Just tell them like I fucking invested in some startup or something.
Tom invested in Bitcoin about 10 years ago, and
it's called a bit of Bitcoin.
He invented paper.
It's like the Melrose Place of Bitcoin.
Not the 90210 version of it.
It was a great reference. Come on, man.
Don't pat yourself on the back too hard there. All right, thanks for coming. And the Pokey Talk Time episode 16. Special guest Mike. Yeah. We'll have you back on whenever we can get you. All right, have a good one, everybody.
Pokey Talk Time. Pokey Talk Time. I'm fucking slide.